I cannot believe I missed a battle bun day yesterday, guys. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. We've got a lot of fun to cover today. Man, we have a lot of fun. I'm tired of being lied to. Number one, we'll get to that. We will just lay waste into that reality. I have an opening I've wanted to do for a while. I'm glad it's on the shorter side because I have kind of a personal note I want to give at the end of it. So we're going to get to that as well. And we're going to look at the, I don't even know the right way to say it. I don't want to say the state of where everything is right now, but maybe I'll come up with the right way to say it in a minute. I should have come up with that before we started. Welcome in, welcome in. We'll create a show on the fly. No, I've got the whole show planned out, but we have to establish some ground rules about the way things are going to operate going forward. Not on this program, in reality, in life. We have to establish this in life because last night was kind of wild. Candace first kicked off with, I think, a top 5 show for her. I don't know that it got us closer to answering the question, who killed Charlie Kirk, how, and why? But as you know, if you follow this show very long, a lot of our comments have consistently asked us, please cover Victor Marx. Please cover Victor Marx. Please cover Victor Marx. There's something weird going on in Colorado. Something stinks up there. Hey, it stinks. It smells bad. Oh, it's awful. We'll add a little more color to that tonight. We have a few details that in our research we've uncovered that she didn't cover last night. I don't know if, I'm assuming it's just because there's only so many hours in a show, right? There's only so many minutes in a show. And she probably just did not put those minutes into the show. So we'll add a couple of things to what she talked about with Victor Marx. I loved her spreadsheet tonight. If you watch Candace Owens' show today, you should have seen the spreadsheet she put up. I constantly remark on all the people in the transportation industry in and around TPUSA and the people who work there. And Lord have mercy, when you see it on camera, when you see it in spreadsheet format, she even left people off. There are people that we know of, that we've mentioned on this show that she left off, that are in the transportation industry, and she didn't put them on there. She's littered with it, like Jaco Boyens. Jaco Boyens did not make her sheet. Jaco Boyens founded a charity with her mom, with Erika's mom. So there's just a whole lot going on out there. I want to start, before I get to the opening, I want to say one thing, and then I'm going to come back to this theme at the end of the opening. Yesterday I had a day off, and what it allowed me to do was have some very long, extended conversations with a few people I wouldn't otherwise have had the time to do. I can't have multiple 1.5 hour conversations on days when I'm working. I just can't. The show prep is a 20 man hour job each show. It's a lot of work to put one of these shows together. We don't just fire up the microphone and start yammering and stammering about. This is a serious business, folks. And so I was able to have some long, extended conversations. And I was reached out to by someone. I have to be very careful how I say this. I don't believe this conversation was on the record. I don't think it was off the record, but I don't think it was on the record. I think it's more of a background thing. I had a very long, extended conversation with someone. And it centered around the plans TPUSA is discussing going forward. And during this conversation, the issue of podcasters arose. The issue of podcasters arose. What are they going to do with the podcasters who are causing them heartache? You could say they're causing heartache because we're covering the news. We're pointing out the obvious. Politics is a blood sport. It's not for the faint of heart. If you're going to get involved in politics, you have to be willing to understand that. You have to be willing to have people say ugly things about you, say mean things about you. You have to be willing to have people, I've had some of the most horrific things said about me. Fine, whatever. I've never filed a lawsuit against anybody for saying anything. I've had people say things that just aren't true. Other podcasters here in the last few months say many things that just aren't true about me, but whatever, they have a freedom of speech. I don't really care. I'll address it. I'll bark back a little bit and say, hey, that's not how it happened. Here's what happened. But it doesn't sound to me like everyone shares that live and let live philosophy. Let may the best idea win. That there may be an attempt, a plan to try to silence people. And to that, I'll say this. I mentioned a little bit about that last week when I was talking about the Caleb Robinson inclusion on the board of the whatever that Christian Legal Defense Fund is or whatever it is. That I heard they're going to try to sue Candace Owens and use the might of that organization to try to pull it off. Here's my philosophy. I want to be right. And what I mean by that is not, I want what I say to be a reflection of reality. I want to bend reality to what I say. That's not it. It's that when I say something, when I get on the air and I start talking, I want you guys to walk away with really one feeling in your head. That Baron Coleman, he believed what he said. And if he didn't believe what he said, he'd come out and correct it. If he felt like he got a fact wrong, he'd come out and correct it. There is a difference. As a lawyer, I know this. There's a difference between facts and opinion. Facts are things I throw up on the screen. So and I use the screen probably more than any other podcaster that I watch. I use the screen a lot. I pull a lot of stuff up. And the reason is because I'm used to operating in legal circumstances where what the lawyer says is really irrelevant. It's what does the document say? It's what does the witness say? And so I like to bring the witnesses and documents to you and let you look at them. I'm not going to tell you someone filed a nonprofit in Texas in 2020. I'm going to pull up the documentation and let you look at it. And I think it's important because that way you know that what I'm saying is true. Now, I do offer a lot of opinion on this program, a whole lot of opinion. I try not to offer conclusory opinions. For example, I've never once stated who is responsible for killing Charlie Kirk, how or why. I think I'm getting closer on some of those answers, but I've not said this is what happened. Now, some other podcasters, some other people on X, some other people on Instagram, some other people on TikTok, they've gone far enough to say, here's who did it. Here's how they did it. Here's the mechanism of action. Here's what went wrong. Here's what moved under his shirt. Here's what we got palm gun people. We've got microphone people. We've got necklace people, all of these. What I do instead is say, hey, these theories are circulating. Let's look at them. What do we think about them? Let's community weigh in. What do you think you see? And ultimately, if I say something like Andrew Kolvet, I believe was on an airplane earlier than he leads people to believe he was on an airplane. It's just, I believe that. It's my opinion. I'm looking at a set of facts. I'm looking at airplanes coming and going. I'm looking at what appears to be, in my opinion, a fraudulent itinerary, or at least a fraudulent document that would never prove what plane you were on. And so I mention it. Here's the document, but I don't believe it. And I hold my opinion. I'm subject to being wrong on that, of course. Let's just take that one example. If Andrew Kolvet comes to me and says, hey, but Baron, here's a document that proves I was actually on a later flight. Great. I'll be the first one to correct that. Next show, I'll lead with that. I'm going to pull up the document you gave me with your permission, and I'm going to explain why I got it wrong. I have no shame in that. This is not about me batting 1,000. It's not me trying to be a prediction machine. This show is not about that. This show is about me trying to get the right answer. And along the way, I'm going to pull up documents and I'm going to give you my opinion. I probably went a little more heavy on the what I intended to cover at the end, but I'm so frustrated with people trying to act like we're out here lying on purpose. It's nonsensical. It's nonsensical. What it is gaslighting. And we're going to talk about that. My open is on gaslighting. I'm just going to spill the beans right now. I've been wanting to do this for so long. I've had the skeleton of this, the outline of this open in the tank for a while, but I haven't had the perfect night to do it. Oh, I do now. Because last night we were gaslit. We were gaslit. It's my opinion. The person who claims to have stayed home last night was actually in Athens, Georgia. I'll show you why tonight. I think that. I believe that person was in Athens, Georgia. I don't think they were there at home. I don't think there was a security threat. I think that we were gaslit. And they gaslit on Fox News, and they gaslit on the stage last night, and they've been gaslighting on X through all their little surrogates all day. I think we're being gaslit, but that's my opinion. That's just an opinion. I have a right to my opinion. I have a free right to state my opinion. I'll provide evidence of why I think that. I think it's compelling. I think you might also share my opinion by the end of the night. I think I'm going to put together a pretty good case tonight that she was in Athens. It wasn't a threat to her travel. It was a threat to her reputation. That's just an opinion. But we'll get to it. We'll get to it and more. But I want to give you my opening statement because it covers this issue, I think, relatively nicely, if I do say so myself, ladies and gentlemen. So, without further ado, and without holding you much longer, go ahead and hit the like button. Hit the like button right now. Do it right now. Just don't forget. Hit the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. All right, you ready? Because this is your opening statement. Gaslighting. Gaslighting is one of the most insidious and disgusting forms of psychological manipulation in modern social interactions. It leaves the victims of gaslighting questioning not just their memories or perceptions, but the very foundation of their reality. The term, of course, has exploded in popularity in the last 10 years or so. It's often invoked in discussions of emotional abuse, narcissistic behavior, or coercive control. However, the roots of gaslighting stretch back nearly a century, and its effectiveness lies in exploiting deep-seated human vulnerabilities. Understanding its origins, mechanics, and power reveals why it remains such a potent tool for control and why recognizing it is essential for self-protection. The word gaslighting comes from a 1938 British play titled Gaslight by Patrick Hamilton. In the story, a husband named Jack Manningham secretly dims the gaslights in their home while searching the attic for hidden jewels. When his wife Bella notices the flickering and comments on it, he flatly denies any change. He insists she is imagining things or losing her mind. Over time, he escalates the deception. He starts hiding objects from her. He goes as far as to accusing her of theft. He stages events to erode her confidence. The play was adapted into films in 1940, and most famously, the 1944 Hollywood version starring Ingrid Bergman and Charles Boyer. In the movie, the husband's gaslighting drives the wife to the brink of institutionalization. The phrase gaslighting itself did not appear in the original play. It didn't appear in any of the films. It entered the psychological and cultural lexicon decades later. Its first use was by anthropologist Anthony Wallace in a 1961 academic text. He used it to describe manipulative tactics that induce self-doubt or even psychosis. By the 1990s, columnist Maureen Dowd employed it in the New York Times. The mainstream surge came in the 2010s amid rising awareness of emotional abuse and online discussion about toxic relationships. Today, publishers have even added it to the dictionary. They generally define it as a psychological manipulation over time that causes the victim to question the validity of their own thoughts, their own perceptions, memories, and sanity, often leading to confusion, eroded self-esteem, and dependency on the perpetrator. At its core, gaslighting is not a single lie or argument. Rather, it is a systemic and sustained campaign of denial, distortion, and deflection. The gaslighter systematically feeds false information or withholds truth to destabilize the audience's sense of reality. Common tactics include outright denial, such as, "That never happened, you're imagining things." Or trivialization. Someone might say, "You're too sensitive, it's not that big of a deal." Or countering, where you say, "You always remember it wrong." Or even withholding. "I don't know what you're talking about." More sophisticated versions involve enlisting third parties. "Everyone agrees you're overreacting," or projecting blame, or someone says, "You're the one manipulating me." Gaslighting thrives because it is gradual and it is relational. It rarely begins with overt cruelty. Instead, it exploits an existing bond of trust. Picture romantic love, friendship, or even authority. The victim initially believes the gaslighter has their best interests at heart. The foundation makes the manipulation feel credible. Over weeks or months, repeated contradictions create cognitive dissonance. We've been talking about this lately. I'm building on it. For example, the victim knows what they saw or felt, yet the person they rely on insists otherwise. To reduce this cognitive dissonance, many begin to internalize the doubt. They assume they're flawed, rather than confronting the deceit. Its effectiveness stems from several intertwined psychological mechanisms. First, humans are wired for social validation. We crave it. We constantly minimize prediction errors. And prediction errors are these discrepancies between expected and actual reality. We humans do this to maintain a coherent worldview. Gaslighters corrupt this process by manufacturing violations that the victim cannot reconcile without surrendering their own perceptions. Recent neuroscience research shows this can literally rewire brain pathways. It fosters habitual self-doubt and heightened dependency. Second, gaslighting isolates the victim. Gaslighters often discourage outside contact. They frame others as unreliable. They don't want you to listen to dissenting opinions. Without external reality checks, the victim's sole reference point becomes the gaslighter himself, and it amplifies the gaslighter's control. Third, the gaslighting targets self-esteem, and it targets it at the very root. By framing the victim as crazy or forgetful or hysterical or evil, the tactic erodes confidence. It makes escape seem impossible. Victims report anxiety, depression, dissociation, or even symptoms resembling trauma responses. This is precisely because their internal compass has been shattered. And the power dynamic is deliberate. Gaslighters seek dominance. And they seek dominance without physical violence, without physically overcoming someone. Denying reality shifts responsibility. Any conflict becomes the victim's fault for misremembering or not knowing. This preserves the gaslighter's self-image while wearing down the other's resistance. It is especially devastating in relationships where power imbalances already exist. Gaslighting illuminates patterns once dismissed as just relationship issues. Survivors frequently describe a fog of confusion that only lifts after separation. Gaslighting isn't limited, of course, to close personal relationships. It can happen at school. It can happen at work. And this is important. It can happen in the public marketplace of ideals. The same principles apply. Consider one example. In the decentralized investigation into who killed Charlie Kirk, how, and why, there essentially are two camps. The first camp is the FedSlop camp. They insist a 22-year-old gay man who lives with a furry and plays Magic the Gathering found out Charlie Kirk was coming to town on or after August 27th. By himself, he meticulously planned and executed the most high-profile political assassination in America in more than half a century. Absolutely everything broke in his favor in order to pull it off. The event was held outside. The event was held in a particular place outside where he'd have a perfect perch to oversee the event. At the appointed time, he climbed to a roof. He removed a disassembled antique .30-06 rifle from his backpack and pants. He assembled the rifle without losing the accuracy of the rifle's optics. And he fired the fatal round. The round amazingly came to a dead stop in less than 3 inches of human neck. He fled the scene without being spotted, but decided for some reason to ditch his rifle right next door. While waiting to retrieve his rifle, he fired off a series of text messages to his furry roommate, confessing to absolutely every aspect of the crime in painstaking detail. He was even sure to point out it was a secret he never intended to reveal. As for the weird behavior of the people closest to Charlie Kirk, well, everyone grieves differently. That's camp one. The second camp is made up of people who find that narrative preposterous. I'm included in that second camp. The second camp has spent the past 7 months or so meticulously poring over every detail, looking for any clues that can possibly answer the question of who killed Charlie Kirk, how, and why. Along the way, the second camp has noticed weird inconsistencies and strange behaviors associated with the people closest to Charlie Kirk. The second camp has raised those issues into the public consciousness to determine whether anyone else finds them as strange as the people who discovered them. That's the second camp. And this is where the gaslighting comes into play. The gaslighters know the 3 things that make gaslighting so effective: the base desire for social validation, the effectiveness of isolating the victims, and targeting the self-esteem of the victims. The gaslighters heap praise and invite those pushing the Fed slop narrative into their inner circles. They promote each other. They get powerful political and cultural figures to agree that those pushing the Fed slop are the real heroes. When people feel like the Fed slop doesn't add up, they mock that feeling and insist the Fed slop is just fine and normal. And they suggest anyone who disagrees and feels like something is off, well, that person is a nuisance and probably evil. The gaslighters then try to isolate the victims from anyone in the second camp. They call for censorship. They attack the second camp. They actively seek to make sure nobody answers any questions the second camp is raising, and they try to make sure no one can hear from the second camp at all. Finally, they call anyone questioning the Fed slop narrative crazy or demonic, and you wouldn't want to be one of those, right? And I have to admit, it may be a classic case of gaslighting, but it's an effective strategy. And it's essential you recognize gaslighting and reject it rather than fall victim to it. Recognizing gaslighting demands vigilance. You must actively identify it and understand it is happening. Ultimately, gaslighting's effectiveness, though, reveals a darker truth about human psychology, and that is this. A human being's greatest strength, the capacity for connection and empathy, it can be weaponized against you. By understanding gaslighting and how it's used, we reclaim the light once dimmed in that fictional Victorian parlor and protect the clarity we all deserve in real life. And that is your opening statement. And I genuinely this time hope you enjoyed it as much as I do. It came from a heart of sincere frustration. Sincere frustration. And here's what I wanted to say afterwards. I don't want anyone harmed. I don't believe anyone is at risk of being harmed. I don't think anyone has been threatened. I don't think there's been any attempt to harm anyone, but I don't want anyone harmed. I don't think any normal, sane, clear-headed person wants a single individual involved in this story harmed. If you do, stop. Repent. It's sinful. It's sinful to wish harm on another fellow human being. You need to go to confession. Or if you don't go to a church that has confession, you need to say it out loud to yourself somewhere. Go sit in your car right now and confess. I wanted someone harmed and I was wrong, because it's not right. It's not right. A, I don't think it's happening, but B, if it is happening, it's shameful, it's wrong, and it must stop now. With that said, these are the gaslightingest SOBs I've ever encountered in my entire life on the other side. I've never seen anything like it. This is the most unbelievably dishonest group of human beings I've ever encountered in a political setting. And I've encountered the worst. I've encountered the worst there is. I went toe-to-toe with the Speaker of the House in Alabama. He ended up going to prison over things we were investigating at the time. And I thought he was a bad liar. I thought he was a gaslighter. He had so many people thinking he was like the greatest human being. The way I was treated at the outset of that investigation, this investigation feels a lot like that. His name was Mike Hubbard. He's now free. He's out of prison. We actually had lunch before I moved. We had lunch before he went into prison, and we had lunch when he got out of, I think we had lunch when he got out of prison. I know we had lunch like the week before he went to prison. We made amends. And I told him I wasn't personal. Like I never disliked you as a human being. And I thought the people that worked to put him in prison in a professional capacity were equally as horrible with the things they were doing. But ultimately, the guy broke the law a lot. And he was punished accordingly. He went to court. A jury found that I think they convicted him of 12 of the 23 counts against him. I was dragged through the mud. I was called all kinds of names. They tried to label me to this and to that. And the reality is, I just wanted to know, is he stealing taxpayer money? Is he taking bribes to alter legislation in the state? Is he enriching himself at the expense of the taxpayer? But when it was all said and done, we went to lunch, and I told him the same thing I'm telling you right now. I said, Mike, the only thing I ever wanted to do, actually, I think I said Mr. Speaker, even though he'd long been out of office. I said, the only thing I ever wanted to do was be right. And when I say that, I don't mean that I wanted you to be a criminal. I meant I wanted to say the right things. When I was on air and I was talking about your case, I wanted to make sure I was accurate. And to the extent I wasn't accurate, I wanted to be corrected. So I offer this to TPUSA. Tyler Boyer, I know you have my number. If you ever feel like I've gotten something wrong, tell me. Tell me. Now, I might ask for documentary proof. I might ask for some sort of documentation. Don't just call me and tell me Andrew was on a later flight, because I don't believe he was. Tell me why you believe that. Give me something. I'll be happy to make the correction. I'll adjust my entire timeline. It might affect the outcome of my research. It might affect my conclusion of who was involved and why. But if you're just going to gaslight me, if you're just going to provide fake documentation, if you're just going to call me evil, if you're just going to threaten to do this or do that or try to get you shut down or mass report or try to take your law license, if you're just going to do all that kind of stuff, hey, I'm retired from the practice of law. I have zero, well, I can't say that right now. I actually still have one active case. I have one active case right now. It's a case that's been going on for the better part of a decade. It's just lingering. Other than that, I'm retired. I don't want to, I mean, obviously, you'd like to keep your law licenses, but ultimately, go to hell if you're going to say that stuff. If you're going to try that stuff, go to hell, Gary. If you're going to come out there and tell me I'm dishonest, buddy, give me a reason why you disagree. I'll change my mind. I will change my mind. But don't just gaslight me. Don't just say I'm evil. Don't just say I'm not drinking the Fed slop narrative. Just don't say I'm not eating it like Alpo. No offense to the people at Purina. I'm sure Alpo's delicious for dogs. It's just not meant for humans. Not for human consumption. Don't eat it. Give it to Fido. I'm so irritated with these people and their lies. And I want to go through tonight why I think they're lying about what happened yesterday. For those that don't know, and I'm sure you do, there was an event scheduled with EK and the Vice President of the United States last night at the University of Georgia. The Vice President of the United States showed up, and to his credit, even though he looked humiliated on stage, even though it was a horrific night for him, not his finest hour, he was hung out to dry by somebody I believe was there, who was gaslighting us, saying she wasn't there. That's my opinion. I could be wrong. Whatever. Who cares? If I'm wrong, tell me. But I want to go through it because I think by the end of this, you might agree with me. You might agree with me. First thing I want to show, though, is that I'm in holding the position I have. Here's my position. Kids need to be with their mom to the extent possible. I hold that position. I think, obviously some mothers are unfit. That's an exception. But when the mother's alive, when the mother's around, the kids need to be with the mother. The second part of that is some people can't do every job. Your mom lied to you when you were a kid. You know that? Your mom probably told you could be anything you wanted when you grew up. Not an English professor, that's for sure. When you grew up, your mom said, when you grow up, you can be anything you want. You be at NASA, you want to go to be an astronaut, little Johnny? Have fun, go be an astronaut. That's a lie. You want to be in the NBA? Ooh, you better learn how to dribble the ball well. You're probably not going to make the NBA, kid. Got bad news for you. Unless you're like freakishly tall and you can jump in abnormal ways and you are stupid fast, then even then it's like a 1 in 100 chance you're going to make it. Can't be in the NBA. And some people aren't cut out to be the CEO of a major organization. They're just not. They're just not. Their personality isn't cut out for it. Their personality isn't cut out for it. And so I want to show a clip. This goes back, I believe, several months. This is the PBD podcast. The PBD podcast. What they're showing on the PBD podcast is Vinny's interpretation of what should happen. Now, keep in mind, it's April 15th now, tax day. I hope you paid your taxes today. My accountant called me yesterday. I almost had a stroke, but it happens. It's not the first time. But the PBD podcast is outlining what they believe, or at least what Vinny believes should be happening right now. And this is months ago. This was right after this town hall meeting that was on CBS several months ago. I want you to hear what Vinny has to say, because I think I agree with him.
And then he goes on, Pat, to add, like, condemn. The conversation is about this, about, conspiracies and all that stuff. And you're going to bring the guy that was asking her husband a question to try to condemn Trump. They can't help themselves to make it about Trump. But the people that are like, leave Erika alone. And I just want to say something. When you're in front of a camera all the time, you have to know, if you don't want the heat, stay out of the kitchen. This is 2025. People are going to judge. Look at us. I work for Mossad, Tom's whatever, Qatar. You're going to get it. You're going to get it. But at some point, it's like people are analyzing this, and it's the talking, the looking up to heaven. It's like, and by the way, if you're going to cry all the time, with all due respect, take your makeup off. Take your makeup off. And it's like, if you don't want it, stay away from the camera. Okay? And I get it. You went from the wife, now you're the CEO and the chair. Like, that's a huge jump. And I just have one question, Tom. Real talk, Pat. And
I don't even ask his question. I mean, it's not that I'm hiding it from you. I just don't think it's relevant to the discussion. But I agree with him. And I say this all the time. Politics is a blood sport. It is a contact sport. There's a lot of money at stake. This economy is worth tens of trillions of dollars per year. Politics largely dictates where that money goes. It shouldn't. It should be the free market, but it's not. Tax policy, federal spending, military spending, requirements for health care, it all goes into politics. And there are largely two sides of politics. You got the Republicans, you got the Democrats, you got the independents, but they only can vote for one of those two options. And so when you take over as CEO for an organization that's going to play a large role in determining which of those two groups has power and has the ability to dictate who lives and who dies. And this is serious business, folks. I say that jokingly all the time, hearkening back to Trump. But this is serious business. One of those two parties is going to dictate which countries we go to war with and when and why, and how many people we kill, how many schoolgirls we drop bombs on. It's life or death. One of those two parties is going to dictate, how is your health care covered? Is it covered by tax dollars that we all pool together and try to reduce the risk pool across the board? Is it going to be private pay and whoever's rich can get good health care and whoever's poor, well, you're doo-doo out of luck? One of those two parties is going to determine what kind of teachers your kids have, how many resources they have. One of those two parties is going to determine what you're allowed to say and not say, whether you can own a gun or not own a gun. This is real world. And if you want to be the CEO of one of the most influential political organizations on the right, it's a blood sport, baby. It's a blood sport. And if you're going to cry, you're not cut out for it. You're not cut out for it. I never saw Tim Phillips cry when he lost races or someone said mean things about him. And I promise you, your humble host included, people said mean things about Tim Phillips back in his heyday. I wasn't a fan of the AFP. I thought they were doing more harm than good at the time. But he didn't cry about it. He didn't cry about it. If you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. Go away. This is what everyone's wanted from the beginning. It's a disgrace to the legacy of the guy who built the organization. Somebody built that organization from the ground up, a group of people, but it cannot withstand what's happening to it right now. I want to go back to the PBD podcast because there was a later, this is in March, that last one I think was like in November. Here is a quote from March. This is one of their people. PBD's a mainstreamer. Like, he's not a nutcase. He's not on the what I call the insurgent wing. Candace, Barron, Ian, others. That's the insurgent wing. This guy is not on the insurgent wing. He's a mainstreamer. And I want you to hear what he has to say.
The look on your face is the look on your face of, I don't know if I agree, but there are good points being made, and this could be a real threat. The reality of it is, if the conservative movement and the conservative party gets too cocky This happens every single time, no matter who is the number one. Anytime somebody wins, they automatically think they have it unlocked. They do not. By the way, here's the other thing to you. I don't have anything against Erika Kirk. I don't. Erika Kirk and I have spoken 2 or 3 times hi-bye, and one time a text exchange. Very cordial, nothing crazy, never had a phone call, never had a conversation. Not going to make friends saying this. I think Turning Point USA needs a better face. I think Turning Point USA needs a better face. I think she can be chairman of the board, but I don't think she's CEO. I think Turning Point USA needs to go hire a recruiting firm, vet them out by the right voices, a good board, a mixture of people from different conservative sides. I don't know who the board is today. I don't know who the board is. I can't tell you if they're pro-Israel, pro-Christian, pro-this. I don't have a clue who's sitting on the board. But they got to hurry up and find somebody, because there's only a couple of these events you can pull where you invite everybody, then it becomes a show. There's not a face. It's just a show. If it's just a show, it's another thing. I think there's chairman of the board. There is COO operations that's aligned with them, but they need a person that's going to go out there doing the work. She's not going to go on campuses debating. That's not her job.
No.
That's not her natural place to be. She can go to churches and do all the stuff that she's doing great. They truly need to make a decision, because TPUSA is a very important arm of the young conservative movement. This has to continue in a very different, intentional, strategic way. They got to hire a firm, sit down and say, how would you do it if you were us? They got to go through an operation where they look at different candidates and look at what it looks like and create an element of building up to somebody being there.
I agree. They've got the wrong person at the top right now. That's it. That's my beef. That's it. That's all I care about right now. I want to know who killed Charlie Kirk, how, and why. That's a totally different inquiry into who leads TPUSA. A totally different inquiry. You can't have the face of one of the people. You can't have the face of one of the organizations that will help pick who is the next president of the United States, who's going to be sitting in Congress, who's going to be sitting in the Senate. You cannot have that person be that incompetent, that emotional, canceling in a huff on the last second. And I do believe it was last second. I think you'll agree with me by the end of the show. But here's how I want to set it up today. Andrew Kolvet did a Fox hit this morning. And on the Fox hit, let me make sure I have the timestamp right. On the Fox hit, you have a clip from last night where J.D. Vance gives an indication of when the decision was made that Erika Kirk would not be there. I want you to listen to it, and we're going to do a little math. I want you to listen to it, and then we're going to do a little math. Here is that Fox hit, or the clip from the Fox hit.
Which is terrible. It's a terrible reflection on the state of reality and the state of the country.
I love Erika, and I know that she did get some Tourette's. I was a little worried that we were going to have to cancel the event because Erika was not going to come, and she was very worried about it. And I talked to the Secret Service, and I said, you know what? Let's let Erika do what she needs to do for herself and her family.
So the man on stage.
What you heard there was a bunch of clips put together to act like it was one statement. It was not. They left out a key part, and they have left it out over and over to the point where I believe they didn't intend to let it out of the bag last night, and they did. Now I'm going to play you what it sounded like on stage last night, because this was a different statement than he just gave. Here is how he said it last night. This is different. Keep in mind.
Well, first of all, I love Erika, and I know that she did get some Tourette's. And, about 2 hours ago, as you know, Andrew, I was
about 2 hours ago. Well, I'll let him finish, but hold on to that in your head. About 2 hours ago.
a little worried that we were going to have to cancel the event because Erika was not going to come, and she was very worried about it.
So the Vice President of the United States, about 2 hours before he was talking, was worried they were going to have to cancel the event because Erika wasn't coming. Wouldn't he have known that if she didn't fly to the event? Wouldn't she have at least told the vice president of the United States, hey, I'm not able to make it tonight. I won't be there. Why was he only worried 2 hours before the event that they were going to have to cancel it? He said that at 5:47 p.m. Eastern time. 2 hours before that would have been 3:47 p.m. You know what his plane started doing? And we'll look at this tonight. You know what J.D. Vance's plane started doing at 3:47 p.m.? It was flying from Washington, D.C. to Athens, Georgia. 2 hours to the minute before he uttered that statement, his plane started circling randomly on the way. And it circled for 31 minutes before they decided to continue on to Athens. That's unusual. This is the vice president of the United States. Trains run on time. They had an event to get to. Why was the vice president only finding out 2 hours before the event that they might have to cancel it because she wasn't going to be there? The plane that left from Scottsdale to go to Atlanta or go to Athens left at 8:50 a.m. Scottsdale time. That'd be 10:50 a.m. Eastern time, Washington, D.C. time. Why is the vice president only finding out at 3:47 when they start circling as if they might be going back? And here's the thing with circling. You don't put a protectee of the level of vice president on the ground somewhere if you don't have to. It's not safe. Every time the vice president's feet are on the pavement, he's at risk. Just the nature of the job. President, the vice president, probably more than any two people in America. They're at risk every time their feet are on dry ground. One of the safest places they can be is in the air. And the proof of that is anytime there's a threat to this country, they put one of them in the air. They go up in a plane and they circle. A very safe place to be. Now, does that mean Erika was on that plane that left Scottsdale at 8:50 a.m.? Maybe. I don't know. Could have been Andrew. Could have been the sponsor who was there. We'll hear from him in just a moment because he does something that also gives us an indication. She, I believe, was there. We'll talk about that in a moment. There were actually 3 important planes that flew in that day. One from Scottsdale, one from Florida, and one from Washington, D.C., the vice president's plane. We'll come back to all that. I want to get to this in order. I'm getting a little out of order here. I apologize. You guys saw this. We have a pic of the stadium that might have more to do with why our humble head of TPUSA didn't want to be there. Here's a pic of the stadium as they were getting ready to go hit the stage. It's a 7,000 seat arena. Fits another 4,000 on the ground. You can put 11,000 people in this place. There were about 1,200, maybe 1,500 tops in the facility. 10-15% full. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. That is what it looked like. Here is some real video from someone who was there. I'll play this on mute because it's kind of, the noise is sort of obnoxious, but let me play this, just a 10-second clip here. Look at that. That is anemic. That is absolutely anemic. But I want to go to the first person to speak at the event last night because he thanks Erika. He thanks Erika. And I want you to see what he does when he thanks Erika. You know, if someone's in the room with you and you thank them, you look at them. If someone's not in the room with you, you don't look at them. You can't because they're not there. I want you to see how he thanks Erika Kirk. I want you to see how he thanks Erika Kirk here.
I'd like to take a moment to honor Charlie Kirk and Erika Kirk. Their belief in why refi has meant the world to me and our employees. Charlie and Erika believe not just in what why refi stands for, but our mission, our approach, and the impact we make. Erika continues to support and inspire us every day to keep pushing forward and fighting for the idea that everyone deserves a path to redemption and prosperity. So Erika, thank you.
Did you catch it? Did you catch who he looked at when he said, so Erika, thank you? We'll have to listen to it one more time. Watch him. I won't stop it so quickly this time. Watch him when he says, so Erika, thank you.
Charlie and Erika believe not just in what why refi stands for, but our mission, our approach, and the impact we make. Erika continues to support and inspire us every day to keep pushing forward and fighting for the idea that everyone deserves a path to redemption and prosperity. So Erika, thank you. Thank you for your friendship and believing in why refi. And to everyone at Turning Point, who I've gotten to become very good friends with a lot of these folks.
So Erika, thank you. Who the hell are you looking at? Who are you? Who's over there? She's not supposed to be there. Who are you looking at? You don't look over like that when you're talking to someone. If they're not there, that makes you crazy. And I don't think that guy's crazy. He seems like a perfectly decent businessman. So, Erika, thank you. I'm not supposed to be here. I'm not supposed to be here. Stop it. Why, Erika? Why are you waving wildly like that? Shh. Shh. If I look irritated, I am. I'm tired of being gaslighted. Tired of being lied to. Tired of being lied to. Go through the timeline. He started talking at 5 o'clock Eastern time. At 5:17 and 52 seconds, Carolyn Maddox, the UGA TPUSA president, kicks off the event. She talks for 4 minutes. No mention that Erika's not there. No mention at all. The lieutenant governor of the state of Georgia, Burt Jones. That's a Southern name if I've ever heard one. Ain't nobody in Georgia with a better name to be elected than Burt Jones. Burt Jones, the lieutenant governor of the state of Georgia. He speaks for 5 minutes at 38 after. No mention of Erika not being there. And it's not until Andrew walks out with the vice president that we get our first indication that she's not going to be there. So I want to show you what this looks like, and I'm going to give you not my final, but one more piece of evidence that I don't believe for a second Andrew left that day intending to be on the stage. Here's what the scene looked like. Andrew's a smart guy. He's a good-looking man. He's been around politics a long time. I find it personally impossible to believe he is going to interview the vice president of the United States in that outfit. I don't even think that's his coat. It doesn't fit. He's got on black pants and a blue blazer. Unless you're in the military, that is an absolute no-no. You cannot do that. You cannot walk out on a stage in black pants and a blue blazer. Period. End of story. He has no tie. He has no tie. No tie at all. That might not even be his shirt. His collar looks like it has not even been ironed. My friends, if you're going to interview the Vice President of the United States, you match. You wear a tie and you iron your dadgum collar. You throw in a medium starch. You make sure that points. You put in some collar stays. Get you some stainless steel or brass collar stays. Get you a little medium starch. If you don't know how to work the iron, have the missus hit that thing a couple of times before you throw it in. But he would never walk out of there in rolled up black pants, a navy blue blazer, and an ill-fitting navy blue blazer, a shirt that doesn't work with no collar stays and no starch. To interview the Veep? Are you out of your mind? Look at him on the Fox hit the next day. He looks twice as good. Why? He's gotten back home. He's hit up his closet. He's aware he's about to be on television. You telling me you have more respect for Bill Hemmer on Fox News than the vice president in person? It's absolutely nonsensical that this man left the house thinking he was going to interview the vice president. Nonsensical. This decision was not made, in my opinion, this is all my opinion, this decision was not made before they got there, which means she was there. In my opinion, she was there. Now, one can only wonder why it is she decided to not go on the stage. Was it a setup to humiliate the vice president? He's not exactly happy with her. I mean, her donors are not exactly happy with him these days. I saw Mel, the great tweeter, Mel the Village Crazy Lady. I follow her on X. She's hilarious. She made a great point today. At AmFest, they were all in on J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance has not towed the company line since then, and a lot of the donors might not be on his agenda, might not be on his side. So that's option one. I guess one option, she pulled out at the last minute to humiliate him. Option two, they looked at the ticket sales. They looked out at the crowd. It was a terrible visual. If you want an image of someone having completely wrecked TPUSA, put her on that stage and take a wide angle from the back. There's no energy. There's no enthusiasm. There's no attendance. It's an event completely open to the public. Any Tom, Dick, or Harry could have signed up to go in there. They did not. Contrast that with what took place in the immediate aftermath of Charlie Kirk's untimely passing. They were rock stars. She wore black leather morning pants, if you remember, and she went out on stage, and she at the University of Mississippi, and there's a whole to-do, and there were standing ovations, and the place was packed. You can't call it a regional thing. Ole Miss is basically Georgia. They're the same type of school. Southern in culture, Southern and conservative. Maybe they made the decision putting her out there would be damaging to the career. That's option two. And option three is, frankly, the best option, I think. Because option three is somebody at TPUSA finally came to their senses. And they finally said, look, and I mean, it could happen at the last second, but you can't go out there. You are such a disaster everywhere you go. No one's buying the shtick anymore. We got to put other people out there and give Andrew a shot, see how he does. We've thrown Blake out there. We threw Jack Posobiec out there. We've thrown a few other people out there. We got to find the right guy who can go on these events and keep this thing going. I think the days of these college stops are about over. I think they're about over. They're not doing the tent events anymore. They can't get anybody with Charlie's intellect and speed and wit and likability to sit under a tent for 2 hours in the blazing sun at college campuses all over the country and interact with teenagers, basically 18, 19, 20-year-old kids. They can't find anybody like him. Trust me, if they had one, they would. They don't. So they're not even doing those anymore. But the idea was, we'll skip those and we'll We'll do fewer events, but we'll do bigger events. Well, that's not working. That's not working at all. And so someone could have come to their senses and done away with it. But I want to go to the focal point here, and I'm going to go back and continue proving why I think she was there. I have more, believe it or not, I have more than what Andrew was wearing, and that's about as compelling as evidence as you're ever going to find that he did not intend to be on the stage with the vice president. Look at him. The guy. I'll be honest. No, this is not gay. He's a fantastic looking human being. He dresses impeccably well when he's on camera. He is sharp. He's stylish. His clothes look good. They fit. He would have, I bet you he is humiliated today, having been on the stage in that getup. I would be. And I sit on the camera 4 days a week in a hoodie. I'd rather be on the stage in a hoodie than black pants and a blue blazer. Mr. Vice President, I'm known for Adidas hoodies. This is what you get. I've even got Adidas joggers on, Mr. Vice President. That's just who I am. Before you catch me in black pants and a blue blazer, an ill-fitting dress shirt with no starch in the collar and no collar stays, no. That's not going to happen. Give me a hoodie. Someone run down to the local mall and grab an Adidas Essentials hoodie. Stat. I got my dress Vans on. The vice president's here after all. I don't remember where I was going with that. I don't. Oh, yeah. Here's the reality. They want to blame Candace and podcasters. They want to blame Candace and podcasters for this type of anemic turnout. No. You know who did that? You know why no one was there? Druski. She will never recover from the Druski hit. It is, now you got to be a little older. I remember this because I was a kid, but you're going to have to be a little older to remember this. It's Michael Dukakis in that stupid helmet in a tank. It's John Kerry in his biohazard suit looking around. I got to find that picture. John Kerry in biohazard suit. I mean, you can't become president once you're pictured. Oh, let me go to images. I just got to find a good, yeah. You can't become president if you're pictured looking like this. This was during the campaign in 2004. John Kerry was pictured like that. That's the Druski moment. That's his Druski moment, and Druski probably wasn't even alive. He probably was, actually, but he would have been very young. He'd have been very young. That's the Druski moment. Let's see if I can find the Michael Dukakis picture in the tank. Oh, yeah, here it is. Yeah, this is great. Oh, man, they put it behind a paywall? A 40-year-old picture? Or whatever? 38-year-old picture behind a paywall? Let me find one of these here that'll let me show you. I'll just show you this page. This is Michael Dukakis in a tank. See that? He was relentlessly lambasted for that. Just like John Kerry was for this. Her Michael Dukakis moment wasn't even her. Well, I guess it was. It's all those weird eyes. I can't even do them. I think that's Druski. I promise you, more students at the University of Georgia have seen the Druski skit than have seen your humble host, than have seen Candace Owens, than has seen Coach Colin, than have seen anybody. Ian Carroll. Nope, nobody's seen these people. I mean, a few here and there on college campuses, maybe. But not thousands on every college campus. Are you out of your mind? You know how many of them seen the Druski skit? 100%. Now, maybe there's some foreign exchange students who barely speak English. They're over here on a Chinese visa or something. Maybe they haven't seen the Druski skit. But even them, I bet they have. I bet they've seen it. It was ubiquitous. 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 It was everywhere, and it was devastating. And when somebody gets dunked on like that, you're not going to show up to see him speak. That's basically you getting dunked on. Oh, you're going to see the person Druski dunked on? Doesn't work that way, friends. Doesn't work that way. So I want to show you a picture from this weekend. This was let me isolate it. Try to keep as much of these people's information out of it as possible. This is a picture from this weekend at Mar-a-Lago. This is Erika Kirk in the background. These are some of her friends, and they are at either a bridal shower. Batina. They're at a bridal shower for Bettina. So she was in Florida this weekend. Well, we've already identified one plane that left Scottsdale in the morning. There was another plane that left. Where's the Florida plane? Right there. There's another plane that left. No, it didn't come up. Oh, please. Give me the, just type the tail number out there. I'll find it. Okay. There was another plane that left, that same area and went directly to, and I'm hiding the tail numbers because everybody's freaking out about the tail numbers right now. So don't look at the tail number. Actually, the tail number's not on there, just call sign. Okay. There's another plane that left that area and flew to Athens. Well, here's the interesting thing. This plane lands in Athens in time for the event, a couple hours before the event. So you have Air Force Two. It landed at 3:37 p.m. 3:37 p.m. lands on the ground. The plane we just saw that left Florida, where she was, and went to Athens. The interesting thing about that plane is then it leaves and goes to Scottsdale. Almost as if the person in Florida lived in Scottsdale. So you have the plane, Air Force Two, which leaves and flies and at 3:47 starts circling for 30 minutes. You have that plane, which lands at 3:37. You have the other plane from Scottsdale to Athens that landed at 3:37, basically the same time. And you even had a plane that flew with the vice president for some reason. It's called Sam 2A. I don't know who was on Sam 2A. But Sam 2A flew and landed about the same time. So you have these four planes all coming to Athens, all presumably for the same event. The only one who was in Florida was Erika. And if that was her on that plane, and I think common sense sort of tells me I believe it was, if that was her on that plane, what's the security risk? You're already there. You flew out of where you were. You landed where you were going to land. The vice president's coming. Jump in the car with him. He landed about the same time. I mean, all these planes landed within like 10 minutes of each other. Jump in with the vice president and you've got Secret Service protection all the way there. Or get a police escort. I mean, I don't believe there was a security threat. Here's the thing. If you don't want people tracking you, fly coach. I mean, you don't have to spend $80,000 on a round trip to Athens and back. I mean, you can. They did. You don't have to. I mean, you can get a ticket from Delta for like $800 and fly coach. No one will know. No one will know where you are. There's no planes to track. But I'll say this: no one's tracking planes. No one's prospectively tracking planes. It's impossible. You don't know what plane they're going to be on. But what you can do is look after the fact and say, where have they been? Where have they been? And that's important to me because I am trying to keep accountability on the TPUSA side and keep a running tally of where they're going. And more importantly, how much is it costing? Like these little high school events. Okay, you're going to go talk to 20 people at a high school. If that costs you $80,000 in travel expenses or $100,000 in travel expenses, is that a wise use of nonprofit money? Is that a wise use of untaxed money? I don't think it is. I don't think it is. But maybe they do. Maybe they do. So that all those planes leave within a few minutes of each other. They all arrive within a few minutes of each other. They all leave within a few minutes of each other. There's one plane that hangs behind, and it leaves the next morning. We know Andrew wasn't on that plane because he says that he arrived back in Scottsdale last night. It was a late night. He also was on a Fox News hit on the ground, presumably, not in a plane, while that plane was still in the air. So we know he wasn't on that plane. I think it's safe to assume he jumped on that other plane that left about the same time as the Air Force Two left. So they arrive together, they leave together. But the key is Andrew could not have arrived on that plane because that plane came from Florida, where Mar-a-Lago is, where Erika was. So I think they're lying to us. I also noticed this. This kind of goes to my theory that they're dumping Vance. You remember not terribly long ago, we made a big deal about the fact that somebody had registered. We didn't make a big deal about it, but we commented on it about somebody had registered the Vance Kirk 2028. Remember that? Check out Rubio Kirk 2028. Look when it was registered. It was registered on March 15th of 2026. Rubio Kirk 2028 was registered on March 15th, 1 month ago. We were a month into the Iran war at that point. Now, what about without 2028, just rubiokirk.com? That was registered the same day. Oh, hold on. Make sure that's right. I think it was. Yeah, that was registered the same day, March 15, 2026. And so it raises the possibility, JD, that you're being dumped. You've been dumped. We know that she likes to dump people when they've had their moment. Like she liked to date the basketball player up until he got cut from the Pistons, and then she jumped over to a minor league ball player until his career sputters out. Then she jumps into Manhattan real estate or Manhattan whatever she was doing up there. So we have this idea that she will ride a train up until it's kind of begins to sputter and then jumps off onto another horse. So I just wonder, is that part of it? Is that part of what's going on there? I do want to do the FFL thing, just that one document. Daisy found something interesting. Candace yesterday did an absolute dismantling of Victor Marx. I can't imagine anyone in Colorado who sees that show will ever vote for that man. I mean, just completely dismantled him. Tore him limb from limb. Victor Marx amazingly responded. It was like, oh, hey there. You want me to go on your show, girl? It was a weird response. Like, of all the things you could say, the last thing you want to do is say something creepy. Like, you've just been dismantled. You've just been identified publicly as one of the weirdest and most horrific human beings I think that's ever lived. You've put yourself in really weird places. You've gotten in really weird situations. You've got a guy basically accusing you of doing the most bizarre things imaginable. And you respond with kind of like a, hey, girl. No, creep ball. No creep ball. Get back. Back away from Candace. She's our queen and she's our principal. Get back. You're not allowed to take your glasses off and talk in that voice. Back off. But Candace made an interesting observation is that this guy likes to buy a lot of guns. And what does he do with them? Like, how does a private citizen buy 50 guns at a time? And so we went looking, and what we found is he has a Class 1 FFL. Lots of websites you can look this up. This is one that we were able to redact his personal information out of. You will find the Class 1 designation on some of the other websites. But trust me, if you look him up, the Victor Marx Group LLC in Colorado Springs, where he lives, you will find he has an FFL Class 1 license. What that means is he is a licensed firearm dealer. He is a licensed firearm dealer. Now, I don't know about your preachers. I've had a few over my years. I don't believe any of them have been licensed firearms dealers. I've had a lot of political candidates that I've been around. I don't remember any of them being licensed firearm dealers. But we'll see. We'll see. The question is, what is he doing? What is he doing as a licensed firearm dealer? What is he doing? What? Gosh, I got to be careful what I say here. I think it's impossible at this point. Again, I go back to what Candace showed today on her show, which was, I think, remarkable. No one's ever compiled it the way she did. She put it in a spreadsheet right on the screen, and she had all the people surrounding TPUSA, adjacent to TPUSA. Like I said, there were a couple, like Jaco Boyens she left off, I think. Maybe she put it on there, but I don't remember seeing him. And Jaco Boyens, if you recall, opened a charity with Lori Francve, who was for some reason using her maiden name, Lori Abbas. But she put it all up there, and when you looked at it, what you saw was an absolute trafficking ring constructed around these people. And I find it difficult to believe that all of these people adjacent to trafficking charities and former traffickers themselves and people with licensed firearm dealers and all this stuff, I find it nearly impossible to believe that it is an innocent set of circumstances. I used to be the president of a pro-life charity. What we did was we helped women get pregnancy tests. We gave them ultrasounds if they wanted one. We helped them buy baby items. What they would do is they would take classes. Great charity. They would take parenting classes because a lot of these women came from very unfortunate circumstances. Very hard lives, project housing, inner city lives. Most of them, probably 90+% of them. And they it's not that they wanted to have an abortion. They didn't want to raise a baby. They didn't know how. But if you can get to them and say, hey, let me show, let's just sit down and watch some classes. If you watch the classes, we'll give you baby bucks. And these baby bucks could be used in the store. And we would have people donate carriers and formula and diapers and onesies and clothes and shoes and all kinds of stuff. Take the burden off of raising a child. But in order to get that, you have to sit down and watch parenting classes. And the parenting classes would say things like, you have to hold your baby. Like, you need to hold your baby a lot. And they were like, what? Why? Like, because the human body requires that. The kids develop hormones, and it helps soothe their brains, and it helps brain development and eye development. And helps, cut down on learning disabilities and violent tendencies. Like, you have to hold the baby. These people came from generational trauma. They never heard that. They're not bad people. They're not innately stupid people. They just were never taught the basics. Like, if you don't tell someone to buckle their seatbelt, they don't buckle their seatbelt. You have to make it like, hey, you buckle the seatbelt. You get in the car, you buckle the seatbelt. You don't cross the road without looking both ways. If no one ever told you that, you just run out in traffic. And if no one tells you to hold your baby, you don't hold your baby. You don't know you have to. But there were a lot of people that worked in and around this charity. We had an executive director. We had staff members. There were probably 10 of us on the board. We would raise money. We would have fundraisers. We had volunteers. We had all these people. You know how many of them were involved in trafficking in any capacity? None. None. There was nobody adjacent to sexual trafficking, gun trafficking, drug trafficking. Absolutely nobody. None. Not a single person. These were people like accountants. We had a guy in there that was a carpenter. We had a guy who had a plumbing company. I don't even think he graduated from high school. Very successful guy. These people just wanted to help. They saw human beings in dire conditions, people who were hurting, generationally hurting, and they thought, I can help them. Nobody connected to trafficking. I was on the finance council of our church for 11 years. Holy Spirit Parish in Montgomery, Alabama. I was on, I think 11 years I was on the finance council. You know how many people on the finance council were in trafficking in any way? Background? No one. No one. Had the CEO of a media company there. He was on the board. Had an accountant. Nobody involved with trafficking. None. Just people who wanted to make sure the church's money was spent well. We went to good things. Like we had an elementary school at the church and we wanted to make sure the school was funded, make sure the playground was nice. I think we raised money at one point to build a gym for the school. Like just normal stuff, guys. Normal stuff. No trafficking. No child trafficking. No drug trafficking. No gun trafficking. Nothing. Just a honest charity raising money so kids could go to the elementary school behind our parish. That's it. And to make sure, like when the parish doors were broken in a hurricane one time, we had to fix the doors, put some metal around the door frame where it was broken. We had air conditioners go out, $25,000 a pop, so we'd have to raise money for those. We had to hire somebody to get up and inspect the roof after a storm one time. That was like $10,000 because our roof it looked like this. I mean, it was just crazy. I mean, just normal charity stuff. Nobody involved in trafficking. No licensed gun dealers. Nobody took private planes anywhere. Just normal stuff. I'm not knocking people giving back to good causes. I'm knocking people who are creepy, who have the same background, who all seem attracted to the same thing, who seem to be involved in an industry that on its face looks like, I think we're going to support some Republican candidates and teach some kids about Christ. Then why don't you hire normal people? Why don't you hire normal people? That's it. Like, I'm so frustrated with the attacks on us for asking regular questions that any normal person would ask in this situation. This is an absolutely normal question to ask. Why is everyone involved in trafficking in some way? Why? The normal question. A normal question is, hey, your CEO just got brutally murdered. Where were you when it happened? Like, that's a normal question. I'm sorry, it's a normal question. The normal question. Why did one of your planes fly there if they weren't picking someone up? I don't know. You don't want to answer that question? No. It's not normal either when every time you do decide to answer a question that you do it through weird podcasters with no audience. Like, you have legitimate people asking questions and you could pick up the phone and call them or send them a text, but you don't. You send your text through a guy with a face this long, with a government contract, by the way, a DOD contract. Why? Why are you doing it that? You're sending it through House and Habit? You're sending your alibi through House and Habit? That's how you get your flight itinerary out? This is part of the gaslighting. This is part of the gaslighting. Why don't you just pick up the phone and call the people? I texted with Tyler Boyer. I texted him, asked him if he wanted to call on the program. He said, think about it. Obviously, I've never heard back from him. That's fine. He doesn't have to come on the show, but you have my number. If you think you were on a later flight and you think you can prove it, send me the documentation. I will be the first human being in America to issue a correction. But if I put something on the screen as a document, guess what? Marx has an FFL1. He just does. He's a licensed firearm dealer. That's a fact. That's not my opinion. I showed you the document. You can look it up yourself. Go to any FFL database. It's there. Victor Marx Group, LLC, FFL1. Now, my opinion is that's really weird for a preacher. It's a really weird thing for a preacher. It's a really weird thing for a guy running charities, and that's just nuts. I'm sorry, it's weird. That's opinion. The fact is, we don't know where Charlie Kirk's wife was when he was taken down. That's a fact. My opinion is that's weird as hell. Why would you not want to establish that for everyone in the world? That's my opinion. It's weird. That's not me calling her a killer. That's not me saying anything about her character. It's just, why wouldn't you establish where you were? We don't know where you were in the couple of days leading up to when your husband was assassinated. But you try to establish an alibi through some third-rate podcaster with 200 live people? Come, what? What? Why? Why? That's the difference. Fact and opinion. Opinions protect the speech. I can hold any opinion I want. Facts are facts. They're stubborn things, but they're facts. They're just facts. The final thing I'll say. When Victor Marx purchased the $26,000 worth of guns, he didn't run them through the FFL company. You know, the FFL is in not Richard Marx. He was a singer in the 80s. A good song, Sign It on the Dotted Line. That's a good song. Richard Marx could jam. Are you kidding me? Don't need nothing. Oh, man, that's a great song. Not Karl Marx. He was a philosopher, economist. What's the guy's name? Victor Marx. When Victor Marx purchases the $26,000 in guns, you notice he doesn't do it through the FFL company. He doesn't do it through Victor Marx Group LLC. He does it through his charity. Is that illegal? I don't know. I'm not a firearms expert. But I think it's weird. I think it's really weird. You know, charity to me is like food, baby clothes, Bibles, maybe some medical supplies, some PPE equipment going into a dangerous area. I don't know. Guns are not charity. Those are weapons of death. And I'm a gun fan. I love guns. I have a lot of them. But they are weapons of death. They are designed exclusively for ending lives, animals and humans. That's all they're for. That's not a charity. That's not a ministry. Jesus Christ is a ministry. He did not preach 20. He didn't. I'll look in the Bible. Where is it? Give me this. I got my Catholic Ignatius Study Bible here. Let me scan it real quick. Look for the "Go thou and buyeth $26,000 of gunneths." No, I don't see it in here anywhere. Mark, Luke, no. I'm going to safely say it's not in there. I just assume it's not in there, ladies and gentlemen. Serious business. I get it. Tell me the ministerial purpose for buying $26,000 in guns and link it to Jesus Christ and do it in one sentence. I'll wait. Victor, you should have never run for Colorado governor. You could have flown under the radar. You could have deleted tweets about knowing Charlie Kirk was dead half hour before anybody else did. All of this would have gone under the radar and you would have never known. You would have never known. I don't normally pull up supers in the middle of the show, but this one caught my eye. Really disappointing you didn't believe a bunch of global arms traffickers suddenly found the Lord and are now rescuing orphans with Erika and Jimmy Barbecue. It's called charity, Baron, and grieving differently. Grieving differently indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, our principals in the classroom, this is why I tell you to be on your best behavior in the chat. You never know who's watching. You got to be on your behavior, mind your P's and Q's, ladies and gentlemen. Mind your P's and Q's. Yes. It's insulting, I know. I'm not trying to insult people by not buying their charity. but I just don't find a biblical mandate to goeth forth and buyeth thy guns. I don't see it. I don't see it. Guys, I appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Let me run through some of your comments because this is my favorite part of the program. This is the community building hour we're about to go into here later. Oh, update. I'm going to have Jesse on fire on Friday for the members chat. It'll be at 1 p.m. Central. We scheduled that. Not too terribly long ago, but we scheduled that. That'll be Friday. I am well aware a lot of you think his theory is total nonsense, that Charlie's still alive. I agree with you. I think it's total nonsense. We may or may not even talk about Charlie Kirk. He said, what do you want to talk about? I said, we can talk about your theory, or we could just talk about like the fake moon trip. We could talk. I mean, member shows are all wide open. I said, we could just turn on the mics and see where it goes. He said, sounds like fun. So I don't know what we'll talk about. I don't know whether we'll get into any of the Charlie Kirk stuff. We don't always talk about topical things on the member show. Sometimes we just get weird, and we might get weird, but that'll be Monday. Oh, no, excuse me. That'll be Friday at 1 o'clock. I will be back tomorrow night. I don't know. While our principal's here, I will tell you, the earlier she goes, the earlier I can go. So if she doesn't go till 5:30, it kind of screws us up here on the Real Baron podcast. No pressure, Queen, no pressure. But you know, when you got to yield to number one, right? You know, let her show finish. So I will. I'll be back tomorrow night again, usually between the 5 p.m. 7 p.m. start time at some point. JD on CO's B-roll today. The people that shot CK. I don't know what that means. The people. I'm sorry. I wish I could weigh in on that. I don't know what that means. Hit the like button and subscribe button, y'all. Love you, Baron. Go Max. Christ is king. Christ is king indeed. Christ is king, and he doesn't need your $26,000 worth of guns. I can assure you. I can assure you. He'll be fine without them. The Lord does not need your weaponry. He might need a little cash occasionally, but he doesn't need your guns. After I left the LDS church 10 years ago, my in-laws said, don't become Catholic. Thanks to you, Candace, and Carrie Prejean, I might be disappointing them yet again. You are all so inspiring. Joshua 19, thank you, B. Thank you, Andre Giant. Not the Andre the Giant. He also, unfortunately, has passed away. But thank you. It's a very high praise when you guys say things like that. So thank you. Baron, on this YouTube platform, you can find Dr. James Giordano, Chief of Neuroethics, addressing West Point on controlling the brain. Interesting, scary stuff. I'm sure it is. King Baron, finally. Cannot wait to get my scepter. I'm working on research that explains why Tyler Robinson is in Orem, and specifically the Sorensen Center. Any research on Phil Lyman's brother's cousins would be super helpful. Busy mom. Thank you. There's plenty of it out there. I mean, look at some of Candace's early shows. She talks about Phil Lyman's family quite a bit. We haven't covered Phil Lyman a lot on this show. I've mentioned him a few times, but not terribly a lot. Only because I don't have much to add to what everybody else has already said. Today should have been a battle bun day. Candace was on fire. She used her vacation time well, I think we would all say. Her last two shows have been amazing. I mean, amazing. Yesterday was a top 5 show all time for her. I'm convinced. George Farmer tip. Don't tell her I'm got to wait and ask in person. He has said in the past he only does interviews if it's about his faith. So pitch your interview with him about wanting to explore that topic. Good luck on securing it. Would love to watch. Now you've told her. You've gone and told her if she's still here. Candace, if you're watching, I'm begging my audience to build up the courage for me to ask your delightful husband for an interview. I want to interview him. I'll even do it in your studio to make it easy. He won't have to drive anywhere. And my studio's too small. Unless he wants to sit like right next to me. So no pressure. I'll ask in person. I'll do it the right way. I'll be like a man. I'm not gonna propose over the internet. How did Steven Crowder get the bullet? Trans Discord messages info before press conference. He released it on a show on the 11th. Said he got a leaked email from ATF officer. Can it fit timeline if TR was in custody? I don't know what that last question means. Crowder gets a lot of weird tips, and I don't know why, because it's not the kind of show he does. So I have no idea what his in is or who exactly leaks him information. You say was in the accent of a transatlantic phone operator from 1952, and I'm here for it. Okay. Duly noted. Thank you. First chat ever. Every time I watch you come on right after Candace, I think of Regina George, Mean Girls, as EK screaming and writing bad things about y'all in her burn book. Love your show, Baron. I love your comment. Thank you. I've never seen Mean Girls, so I don't know the reference, but thank you. Thank you. Using my free member milestone super chat to tell you my father wears sneakers in the pool and that we love you all the way from UK. I don't think I would have shared that. I think some things don't need to be said. As I tell my kids, you don't say everything that comes to your head. Like you're allowed to keep secrets. And that's probably one your father at least wishes you would have kept. Why would you wear sneakers in the pool? What is that? Why would you even do that? I know you can't answer, but it's rhetorical. Thank you, Michelle. People's Picks vids were deleted if People's Picks vid were deleted is true. If that's true that those happened, I don't know. Could the suspicious descending plane when Charlie's hit do something like that? I think so. That's a pretty spectacular plane. That is a really, really fancy plane. I think it probably could. I don't know. AJ Gentile. Well, how do you say his last name? I've seen it written 1,000 times, but I've never heard it said out loud. Looks like Gentile. Had Peter Lavenda on the Basement podcast. Speaks of direct past involvement with CIA fronts, posing as church's pastors. You might enjoy. Christ is King. That sounds like an interesting one. I like that guy. I just don't know how to pronounce his name. Want to thank everyone who prayed for my daughter. Everyone's support amazed me. She's doing well and has not had another attack since I asked you all to pray. Praise God. Also got my mug. I'm not saying they're related. No, I'm just kidding. Not acting like we serve miraculous mugs around here, but that's good news, Heather of the Shire. That's excellent news. Congratulations. Thank you for the prayer update. When you guys ask for prayers, I always like updates, even if they're tough to say. Thank you for your courage. You remember when Dan Rather used to end his broadcast with courage? It wasn't long. It was like a week. But he was like, for CBS Evening News, I'm Dan Rather. Courage. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. He did it like a week or two and then stopped. And no, like never mentioned it. It was the weirdest sign-off I've ever seen. I dare say, I don't want to say it out loud. That's ugly. I shouldn't say that. Low key, you could play Haymitch in Hunger Games. Who's Haymitch? I've never seen Hunger Games. I don't think. I think I might have watched part of one of them. That looks like Woody Harrelson. Is that Woody Harrelson? That's Woody Harrelson. You think I look like Woody Harrelson? I got better hair. Andy's like 65 years old. What does that say about your humble host? You be careful what you say. Hey, Baron, has anyone compared a picture of the girl at the Trump rally next to EK with the pictures of her sister's kids around the same age? No, I've not seen that. Lois Erlmeyer, Middle East conflict intensified by an assassination in the Balkans, the third murder. We're huge in the Balkans. They would know all about it. More deaths in a short period than in the other two prior world wars combined. Find a Catholic refuge. I don't know what you're talking about. Is it this happened recently? I have no idea what you're talking about. Gosh, I wish I did, though. That's probably it. You're a neuroradiologist? Is that the problem? I'm not smart enough to talk to you? I'm going to look it up. You paid $100. I want to try to answer it. Lois Erlmeyer. Oh, he predicts it. Oh, okay. He's a prophet. I've never heard of him. Okay. The prophecy of the Lois. Yeah, I don't know. I can't weigh in on it because I'm not familiar with it, but I appreciate it. Maybe I'll look into it. Thank you for that generosity, by the way. Hi, Baron. Thank you. Excuse me. Love your channel, but not as much as my mom, Becca, does. Becca sounds brilliant. Today's her birthday, so hi, Mom. I'm on TV. Much love for you here in West Virginia. West Virginia is a beautiful state. A beautiful state. I've only driven through the little bitty tip that goes out into Maryland or something. Like that little part where you cross 4 states in about 7 miles as you're going up Interstate 81. I've driven through that part of West Virginia, but it's beautiful. Beautiful right there. I'm so mad that I was hoodwinked on the Victor Marx shenanigans. Oh, was there shenaniganry afoot? Shenaniganry? Yeah, you were gaslit is what you were. Go back to the opening today. Listen to that opening again. Baron, where's our friend? Roll that beautiful bean footage. Hope all is well. Go Max and stay gold. I haven't seen him in a couple weeks, maybe a week. I mean, he may have been the last week. Maybe he's taking vacation. Man's allowed to take a vacation. Baron, could you do a hold, please, and text talk your phone? Get with AdFleet on intro to your show. We're all anticipating it. Love you, bro. I've got an update on that. I talked to her about it today. I talked to AdFleet during lunch. I don't know, 1 o'clock-ish, 1:30-ish. So stay tuned. Good things in the works. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. We plotted it out. I appreciate your diligence, Truth Finding. Thank you. I appreciate your comment. I'm behind, catching up. Do we know if Charlie went to Korea with his necklace? So if I missed something, Christ is King. Christ is King indeed. We did not discuss that today. I assume he did. I think there are pictures of him with it, but I'm not sure. I'll double check that. Prod why Andrew K said it was supposed to be Candace. Didn't he follow up and answer that, or at least hint at it at some point? We should ask her what she thinks it means. If I was inclined to make predictions, I'd say based on the TPUSA tailspin, EK is going to have a very publicized breakdown blamed on, guess who? Druski? No, not Druski. Not Druski. He gets off scot-free. You're talking about our queen, our principal? The number one podcaster in America? I don't know. I assume they would blame her. I assume you're right. Thank you, Baron and fam, Daisy, and this great community. You guys brighten my days. I feel so blessed each day to follow some of you around on YouTube. May the force be with you. All. Yay, Star Wars. Christ is King. Christ is King indeed. I have seen Star Wars. I haven't seen, well, I've seen the original 3. I haven't seen all the extras. I don't know what that says about me, but all the time you put in the show makes it high IQ. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. It's a team effort. There's 3 of us putting time in. With TR driving all over post Big Bang, car wash, a lot of eating. When did he text his lover? Say he was waiting to get gun while watching Cops and Dogs. You know, something I thought about that whole text exchange. There's a text exchange of him saying he's, lingering around. There's only one officer there. They found that gun, I think, by the radio transmissions, it was at 540-ish. Like within a minute of there, 539, 540, 541, somewhere in there. And he supposedly, according to a Fox News article, made contact with a police officer at that very location at 6:30. Are you telling me they just grabbed the gun and ran out of there? Like they didn't do any kind of we know he was here, bring in dogs, let's get a scent, let's see if, everybody get out, let's do like an archaeological examination of the place to see if he left anything else. Maybe there's you remember the terrorists were nice enough to leave passports just gently sitting on top of the rubble, unfazed. Tyler could have left a driver's license right there. You never know. I would think it would take at least 50 minutes after you find the gun to process the area. He just strolled up and didn't notice. I'm wondering if he was there. Candace in the house. Oh, was she there that early? Wow. Good evening. I wish I'd have known the whole time. I don't think it would have affected the show in any way, but it would have been nice to know. Someone in Candace's chat posted about Governor Cox's LLC and finances to show $2.5 million was paid to the Twiggs family 8 weeks post Charlie. I got a screenshot. Love to see it. Love to see it. So did he pay the reward? Was there a reward? And did he pay it? Or was this unrelated to it? What in the world? I would love to see that. I noticed they, according to I Don't Give a Dumb's recent podcast, I think it was episode 11, they paid off a mortgage of some sort about that same time. A few weeks after, 6, 8 weeks, 10 weeks after. So that'd be interesting to line that up and see. There's a movie called Red Eye from 2005. Plot surrounds the assassination of Senator Charlie Keefe and the saving of a patsy by the patsy's dad. Someone gets a hole in the neck, plus a character made up looking just like EK. I believe everything you said, but I can't double check that. I don't know. But thank you. Thank you. That's weird. Someone commented on Candace that the threat was Erika holding Vance's hair. I wondered if Usha put her foot down and was like, no, we ain't having it. If she comes out in leather pants, you're sleeping on the couch. I wonder what she would have worn. My 9-year-old Adeline wants to say hi, and she enjoys your show. We appreciate the no curse words. The whole family can watch. Oh, thank you, Adeline. You know, I got a theory on that. No one tunes in, I don't think. I may be giving all my secrets away. No one tunes into a podcast and says, oh, I'm going to watch that podcast. They cuss on that one. But I've heard people say, I don't watch them because they say they cuss too much. So why would you limit your audience? I mean, occasional cuss word slips out. That's different. Or you're playing a clip and somebody says something. You can't help that. But you can help what you say. I just never understood why you would try to limit your audience in any way. But thank you, Adeline. All the pings from TR's cell phone that match him driving or other security footage of him. Are there pings? I don't know. We know there's one ping that pinged to that shopping center, allegedly. Would determine if he had cell on him, even if pings aren't exact. Hard to believe he wouldn't take a burner. Yeah, I'm wondering about phone cloning. I've been looking into that. I don't have a ton of time to research, so if anyone wants to help out on that, that'd be great. I'm not a techie. I'm not a real technophobe. I am kind of a technophobe. But I'm wondering if you could clone. I'm wondering if you could clone a phone, and would it ping in both locations? And I don't know how that works. Like mirror the what is it called? Some kind of card that's in here. So I'm telling you, I'm not a techie. But if you could mirror the card, SIM card, you could mirror the card or switch it out or something without them. I don't know how that works. I'd be interested to know more about that. The folding gun in backpack. Candace Owens covered. Is it possible they were going to declare that someone used that gun type to off CK? Stairwell Patsy had backpack. It crossed my mind while I was watching it, waiting on a baseball game to start last night. I was on a Little League ball field last night. Earbuds in, phone in hand, like, I'm sure everybody there thought I was crazy. I bet you I gasped for air 6 times. And at one time, there was a group of 3 moms that were standing like 6 feet from me. And they were, you know how moms do at a ballpark. They were like huddled up in a triangle. And I went, and they all stopped and jerked their head around. I was like, I'm good. Sorry. It happened. If those 3 women are watching, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, that was a wild show, man. I'm telling you, a top 5 show. It's funny. That show was ending while my team, I was coaching the second game. My kid played in the first game, but I wasn't coaching it. But one of my 2 kids played in both games. One of them played in the first game and the second game. But I coached in the second game. So the game is like, they're warming up, and I've got my phone down here like this, finishing the show. I was not getting off the phone. If they'd have said, hey, put your phone away, I'd have said, hey, I'll be back in 10 minutes. I'm not getting, I was transfixed. Yeah, I don't know if that's the assumption or not. It crossed my mind. I'm sure it crossed yours. Asking all high IQ members to hit the like button. Are we having like troubles tonight? Where are we? We're good. I mean, you can always hit the like button. It's the single easiest thing to do to push this. What does Lionel say? Throw it in the HOV lane. I love when he says that. He's like, go ahead and hit the like button. Puts us in the HOV lane. That's a nice visual, Lionel. Thank you. I might steal it. Bearing any insight on the relationship between EK and CK's parents since his passing. Curious to know if they're close. Keep going, Max. Again, I'm not going to talk about Charlie's parents. I've made that decision. I'm just not going to. So I appreciate you asking. Thank you for the contribution, but that's just not a question. I don't want to talk about them. Athens, my hometown, comments on local pages that everyone bought tickets, then stayed home. Welcome to the most substantial quiet protest ever. I don't think you had to buy the tickets. I think they were free, but maybe that's the problem. Everyone had tickets, so then they showed up and they're like, hey, bad news. We thought we had a good turnout. Nobody's there. I'm telling you, it's the Druski effect, guys. I'm telling you, Druski just bombed her. I don't think you can recover. It's like when Buster Douglas hit Mike Tyson the first time. You guys remember James Buster Douglas? Let me pull this down. 1991-ish. Mike Tyson was unbeatable. He was just annihilating everybody. He was the baddest boxer of all time in his prime. And he goes to Tokyo to fight James Buster Douglas, who, by the way, was the inspiration for the MAGA hat. I've shown you this picture before. His hat said James Douglas, only my best. And it was a red hat with white writing. And we know Donald Trump's a huge boxing fan. No doubt he saw that hat and thought that's amazing because you instantly knew everybody who was with Buster Douglas. They all had the red hat on with the white writing. It was beautiful. The whole arena, you saw all the Douglas fans and they all had the red hat with the white writing. I know Trump saw that and thought if I ever run for office, that's my hat. But I digress. Tyson, when he finally got hit in the mouth, like hard by somebody, and he hit the ground, he did get up, but he hit the ground. He was never the same after that. In his entire career, he was never the same after that. And I think that was the Druski moment. I think Druski landed a fatal blow that ended her career, and she just doesn't know it yet. Tyson's career was over. He just didn't know it yet. Like from 1991 on, he was never the same. Never the same. And you could say all day long, oh, Customato and this, that. No. James Douglas. Hit him right in the mouth. Right in the mouth. Candace's Barron is better than Braun and Wade. Oh, no doubt. No doubt. Because remember, it wasn't just Braun and Wade. They had Ray Allen. Did they have Ray Allen? Who was the tall kid they got from Toronto on that team? I don't want to make it a sports show, but that was a good ball club. That was a very good ball club. Pat Riley. Actually, they have Eric Spoelstra by then. Man, it's too long ago. Anyway, I know they beat the Pacers in 6, and I was irritated about that. Is it just me, or does Erika and Andrew kind of speak in the same flow, almost as if they were taught to speak by the same person? I've never noticed. It might just be you. Sitting on the dock of the bay, Ron. I hate gaslighters. I hate them too. And the gaslighting coming out of the TPUSA crowd. Alex Clark, who's blocked me on Twitter. I've never interacted with her on Twitter. But Alex Clark, who blocked me on Twitter, had a post up today saying we need to I don't remember how she worded it, but basically we need to gatekeep the conservative movement. We need to make sure certain people aren't heard in the conservative movement. What? Good luck winning without Nick Fuentes, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens. Who else don't they like? Good luck winning without these people. Good luck winning without anybody who still wants to see the Epstein files. Good luck winning without anybody opposed to the Iran war. You guys will get obliterated if this is your tack going into 26 and 28. You better find a way to make peace. I'm a peacemaker. I'm a pacifist at heart. I don't like war. I'm pro-life from birth to natural death. And when you're dropping a bomb on 150 schoolgirls, that's war. That's death. That's anti-pro-life. No, we didn't mean to hit. Well, I don't care. I don't care. You did. 150 or up to 300 parents sent their kids to school that day wanting what you want for your kids. To hug them when they get home, make them a good dinner, brush their teeth, get them in bed, say your prayers. That's all they wanted. And instead, you've created lifetime enemies of everyone who knew those girls. You vaporized schoolgirls at a girls' school. Don't gaslight me into thinking that's okay. It's not. It's unacceptable. And it was avoidable. It was unnecessary. Totally unnecessary. Totally unnecessary. So good luck winning without all these people. Good luck winning by gatekeeping the conservative movement. If that's your answer, you're done. How about come up with better answers? How about tell me where you were on September 8th and 9th and 10th? Don't lie to me and tell me you weren't in Athens when all evidence seems to suggest you were. Don't lie to me and tell me Andrew intended to interview the vice president in black pants, a navy blue blazer, an ill-fitting shirt with no starch in the collar and no collar stays. I didn't even have good enough footage to see his shoes. Did he have his dress vans on? Sorry, I get sidetracked sometimes. I get angry. So happy that the normies are finally waking up to Erika's lies and the fact that the TPUSA is a fraudulent company. Yeah. Same. St. Padre Pio talked about a coming miracle called the illumination of conscience. Maybe this is one reason they keep gaslighting us. They want to make us doubt what we experienced, saw, and experienced. Yeah. There's no doubt. This is a gaslighting operation. The whole thing, all the way through. Your Majesty, finally. Baron, two things. How are the public not going crazy knowing how deep this goes? Seeing Cash P standing there and lying, and B, that the news are not covering this, the so-called real investigative journalists. It's pathetic. That's all I know. It is pathetic. Please go bad cop on Tim Pool's ignorance on Candace and other investigative journalists, ignores all the lies from EK and claims he knew instantly that 30-06 was gun used. Drain the pool. What's KIK mean? I'm hoping you meant CIK. It's K. I don't know what KIK. Go Irish. I'll allow that. I don't know anything about what Tim Pool's saying. He's totally irrelevant to me. Like that, of all the people I follow and pay attention, he is so far down the list. I bet you he's not in the top 100 people I think about in terms of podcasting and broadcasting and political opinion. There was a time when he was a thing, but not now. Opening statement, chef's kiss. Thank you, Baron. Thank you. Bubba Baron. Whoa, Bubba Baron. Just got out of a 15-year relationship where I was gaslit and told I was crazy too many times. Thank you for explaining this to all and personally validating me. Christ is king. Christ is king indeed. I don't know how to say your name. Where the fur flies all? That was one of my favorite opening statements. Thank you for speaking and seeking the truth. You're welcome. I'm doing my best out here. Thank you, and thank you, and thank you. I went through this relationship that lasted 7 years. I'm not angry because it's no longer possible to manipulate me. I learned every trick in the book. Yeah. It's a tough thing. It's a tough thing. If anyone loves Vampire, look up A Boy and a Girl by Eric Whittaker with lyrics. Please don't dismiss because Coral, story arc, and first true love. Christ is king indeed. When you said Whittaker, I thought it was Whiteacre, and that gave me flashbacks to law school where all your property classes, every dispute is over Whiteacre or Greenacre or Redacre or Blueacre, and I had a panic attack for just a moment. I did like my first year property teacher, though. He was a really fun guy. Georgia born and raised, proud GA did not show up. Christ is king indeed. Trying to snatch your law license is one of their biggest weapons, and it's so powerful to have other options. Wild cards are a real problem. Taking my law license isn't really going to hurt me. I mean, I don't want to lose it, don't get me wrong, but I don't use it. I don't use it at all. And you can't take the knowledge away from me. I mean, I've got 20 years of practicing law. You're not going to take that. But I cannot imagine any bar accepting a complaint from one of these wackadoodles. Baron Coleman, as usual, speaking truth to power. Thank you for always saying what we're all thinking. P.S. I got my high IQ t-shirt and wear it with max pride. P.S. Funk? Oh. That's a euphemism. That guy. I don't want to say his name too much. It gives him power. But Baron and Candace can't wait until Mitch's pictures are ready at Photomat. Talking about Fort Huachuca. For under $10, Joe, you cannot be stupid. Merch, please. Also, no one touches my buccal, but my boo. It's a buccal. It's not buckle. Buccal. Didn't stay at Fort Huachuca Holiday Inn, but I know that dogs don't just locate only guns recently fired. They would have sensed the towel, the clothes, and the route TR would have taken. Interesting. An awesome opening, Baron. I look forward to your show every week. On another note, I can't stand the way EK always refers to CK as my husband. Been married 13 years. I use his name in conversations. Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't put a lot of thought into that until Candace started pointing out that she never says Jesus. She only says the Lord. I didn't think much about it. But now I do. But I figured out why, because when she says Jesus, her eyes roll around. She starts manifesting. Queen Candace in the chat. I'll try to behave. Yes, thank you. Be on your best behavior when she's around. Thanks, B. My child is gaslit by my son-in-law right now. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Thank you, Baron, for this amazing program. I love your opening statement so much. Maple syrup coming your way next week. I have not forgotten, nor have I. Erika couldn't come to the event because when she saw there was no one there, she actually cried real tears. People would notice. Oh, they would say, what is this? We've seen you cry. You just do this thing. I don't have anything near me to use. Here, let me use an envelope here. Don't want my 13 pounds of mascara to run. You had a tip the other day that she was in Palm Beach with AK and left somewhere in a huff. Maybe DT told her not to go to an event due to her reputation hurting. JD Vance. I don't know about that last sentence. You were right. We did get that tip. I've not been able to find anything about that, but the timing is interesting. Please never stop saying restarted. If people are too soft, we need more like you. YT won't let me put that word. Yeah, I think we got a lot of reports on that show. Believe it or not. That's the type of people that don't like the word. Hi, Baron. I think JD knew ahead all along that EK wasn't coming and that the plan was really for JD and AK to talk up and support poor widow EK. It was all staged. Just my take. I don't agree with that. Great opening statement, and thanks for all your hard work. Christ is king. Christ is king indeed, but I do not believe that. Other Candace. There's no crying in baseball. I mean, politics. Keep going, Max. Keep asking hard. I'm going to add hard questions. We're going to keep asking hard questions. TPUSA has already lost the youth who knew Charlie. I agree with that. Baron, I've sent you an email to your Gmail account. Don't do that. Don't send my Gmail account. I've asked a million times. Do not send to any email except realbaronpodcast@gmail.com, and I probably won't check it. But thank you. Thank you. But please don't email to any other email account. I get emails to all kinds of emails people find. I have I have like 12 email addresses. They all serve a particular purpose. Please don't email any other email address. Unless that's the Gmail you're talking about, realbaronpodcast@gmail. In which case, I apologize. I'm wrong. When I'm wrong, I say I'm wrong. Dirty dancing. FYI, Loretta Fuddy's plane crash and her subsequent death needed to be filmed by a passenger in order for the world to see she died. Like LF, CK was relocated to Fiji after UVU. LF has since died. CK is at Leviti, Fiji. Huh? Where's Leviti, Fiji? How do you know that? You a medium? I don't do that medium stuff. So if that's you, just stay out of it. On a map, let's look at Leviti, Fiji. Boy, that's a little bitty village. You could hide there forever. So which house is his? These don't look like somewhere he would live. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. These do not look like places our good friend Charlie Kirk would live. Which hut is his? Does he get the seaside hut? Is this his right here? Or is he? Oh, he got the blue roof. He knows about the directed energy weapons. He's got the blue roof. Oh, Charlie's smart. I'll go to Fiji, but you got to give me a blue roof. Why would you want to go to Leviti, Fiji? Where is Fiji? That's out in the middle of nowhere. Oh, that's on that old sunken continent. What was the name of that continent? We talked about that. Leviti, Fiji, you say. Interesting. Joe for CEO. Someone said could do a better job. I bet Joe would do a better job. That pew from yesterday available in blackout. Subs and you are pretty quiet. Sorensen angle, cleaner backdrop, plausible CIK. Christ is king. Christ is king indeed. How far would Sorensen be? 100 yards with a blackout round? With a subsonic blackout round? You'd have to be a pretty good shot. They drop quite a bit. Like, I bet they drop 12 inches or more at 100 yards. I could be wrong. Let me look at how much. 300 blackout drop chart. Here we go. All right. At 100 yards. Oh, no, they don't. They don't drop at all at 100 yards. Interesting. But they drop 32 inches at 200 yards. I know they're slow moving around. 32-inch drop. Can you imagine? That's that much. It's hard to get 32 inches in the screen. Also, started rewatching from beginning. Comment asked about something had you pacing. Popular 10 years ago, 5 years before that. You found evidence East and West Coast. Did I miss it? No, you haven't missed it. Yeah, you haven't missed it. I need to do that show. You're a member. Maybe I'll do it on a member show. I don't know that I want to do that show on a full show. But good comment. Good comment. If it weren't the lot of podcasters and listeners questioning the slop, TR would be dead, convicted already. Yes, that's correct. I believe that. I think we've kept him alive. Also, it's nice to see Candace truly laughing today. Thank you for all you do. Let me say this. I was belly laughing at times today watching her show. She was having fun. It is so hard to do a show on a daily basis and still have that much fun. And I think the week off did her a lot of good. She was having fun today. Like, she was making herself laugh. She literally cracking herself up. It was great. It was great to see. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for your comment. I don't think TPUSA leadership is focused as much on the political impact as much as the cover operation of a nonprofit gives their shady dealings. Yes, but to the extent people don't believe it's a political operation, they're going to start wondering where the $100 million a year going. I mean, they're going to have to do it. The whole reason EK was appointed was to make sense of continuing to use CK's name. Yeah, maybe. How's TPUSA event on VP's agenda right now? Is this a look here, not there play? My brain cannot compute. I don't know. King Baron. Keep going, Max. Will do. Late to the show, but glad to be here. Also, my husband and I have an 11-year-old. Help me convince him we need 2 more, and then they need to homeschool all of them. Oh, have as many as you can. Stop at 10 if you can. If you can't get to 10, that's fine. But have as many as you can. Kids are amazing. I give that same advice to everyone, by the way. Every 18 to 24 months, have another one. I don't think EK canceled because attendance was low. I think this was planned all along to set up the people she's going to sue as proof that defamation prevents her from doing her job. Play the story. Here's the problem. Who's the defamation against? If it's against her, what are the damages? You know, she's rich, makes a ton of money. Show me the damages. If the defamation is against TPUSA, again, show me the damages. They're making more money now than they ever have. So I think defamation is a loser. Revelation 2:9 speaks of Smyrna, not Smyrna, Tennessee, hopefully, because it's right over there. Who claim to be Jews but are not and are actually a synagogue of Satan. Sabbatai Zevi is from Smyrna, which the foundations of modern-day Israel has its roots. I can't fact check that on the fly, but I will have to take your word for it. New jury member. My sister's already a member. We talked about you over spring break in South Carolina last week. Love your show. Oh, apparently huge in South Carolina. I had no idea. But thank you. Why should the taxpayer fund the plane and security for TPUSA event? That's a good question. I don't know. Why does the taxpayer need to pay for the TPUSA event to be broadcast on the official White House website while we're at war? That doesn't cost anything. You just turn the switch on, grab a feed, and dub it. Thank you, Sarah. Baron, it's rather serendipitous. Our world is shifting. First time in history, Canada manufactured a full government majority with floor crossing. I don't know what that means. Tyranny. Constituents should have recall. Love you, bro. Christ is king. Christ is king indeed. I don't know what you syrup drinkers do up there. You moose jockeys are a different breed north of whatever parallel that is. 5440 or fight is what I say. We're coming for you, Canucks. No, I kid. We only want your maple syrup. That's all we want. And your diamonds and your wood and your oil. Other than that, you guys are good. You can be fine. You guys can get up there and say sorry and be nice and all that stuff, but we want all your stuff. We want Banff. We're coming for Banff. Do you think Erika might be succumbing to the pressure and spiraling downward mentally and emotionally? Clearly, they thought people would accept her from the get-go, and it was quite the opposite. All right, this is great. I'm glad you asked. I was waiting on someone to ask a question for me to say this. I don't think it's that. She's been the pretty girl for a long time. And she's used the long flowing blonde hair and sex sells sex appeal and all things to all people. And she's like a chameleon, right? She do whatever, whatever group. Yeah, I think Lionel used this today. I'm kind of stealing that from him. But she kind of just becomes wherever she is. But more than the chameleon aspect, she just has had this unbelievable desire to be famous. She tried it through the pageant world. She tried modeling. She tried actress. She just wanted to be famous. She tried cleat chasing. She tried marrying athletes and dating athletes. And she just wanted so badly to be famous. This was her chance. This was the biggest break she's ever had in her career. And I don't think it's spiraling because of all the criticism or the difficulties of the job. This is the normal things that come with running a political organization. I don't think it's that. I think it's this dream she's built for herself is crashing. No one's buying it. She's the ultimate pick me girl. And people hate her. Like 2 days after Charlie died, and she's given her sob speech up there where she's pitching, don't forget to sign up at TPUSAaction.com. But during that speech where she's all dressed in white, standing behind Charlie's chair and weirdly whispering and looking up at the ceiling. Like, that was her moment. That was the launch of the official arrival, right? She had Erika, FranceVay.com and booking requests. Well, no one knew that the booking agency, Elm Group, was actually just her. She would tell people, I'm an agency represented model. Well, not really. Oh, I'm an actress. Not really. I'm a casting director. Not really. I run an influential nonprofit that does stuff all over the world. Well, not really. Like she had tried so badly to break into some industry where somebody would recognize her. Notice me, pick me. And then this fell in her lap. And she was thrust into the spotlight. And what we found out is she was not ready. She wasn't ready. And so when you say they thought people would accept her from the get-go, I don't know if they thought people would accept her. Maybe they did, just because she's the grieving widow and they thought that was enough of a buffer. But when you see her eyes roll around and she does these weird like demon eyes and she's like, go ahead, talk to me. Go ahead, talk to me. Like, people naturally are aghast. They're like, what the hell is going on with this woman? Why does she look like that? I don't know if you make yourself into the studio, but there you are. Okay. But yeah, that's oh, where is it on the run? Where'd you put it? Hold please. We have a breaking story I want to get to. Did you put it on the run, Daisy? I don't see it. Hold, please. Oh, if you jumped in, you're probably in your car. Okay, now she's putting it on there. Yeah, put it right there. All right. This is going to be breaking news. So we're going to have to suspend the supers for just a moment. Might have to go a little long tonight. I'll just read. You guys are going to read this raw with me. Because this is good news. I mean, this is news, and we'll have to see what it says. So bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. We are efforting this on the fly. This is a defendant's motion for an order prohibiting any further alteration or testing of a bullet jacket fragment, pending the outcome of this motion, and permitting a defense expert to examine and photograph this evidence before it is further altered or destroyed, or in the alternative, permitting either defense expert's observation of any further alteration or testing of this evidence. You got a typo there, defense.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I don't know if they can.
I'm on the stage, but this is from January. It was just unsealed. The very last few pages are the ATF report.
Oh, perfect.
So if you want to go through the motion, that's cool. But just so you know, it's from January 9th, I want to say.
Mhm.
And it was private. Now it's not. So there you
Perfect.
go.
Thank
And
you.
can you kick me back off? No.
Oh, yeah. All right. Got you. We'll get you out of here. Thank you. Okay. So let me just real quickly, just so I can get my bearings. Read the intro. Okay. So we'll roll to well, let me look at the facts. Let me look at least the summary here. State indicated its intent to conduct a virtual comparison microscopy analysis on a bullet jacket fragment recovered at autopsy to examine any markings of the rifle imparted to the fragment. The notice further indicated while the testing will not destroy or consume the fragments, it may alter their character. According to the notice, FBI examiner who will conduct the testing has informed the state that to obtain useful scan of the bullet jacket fragment, it may be necessary to fold back portions of the jacket fragment to allow the optical head to capture the surface of the jacket that contacted the firearm. Pliers or similar gripping tools may be used to fold back the jacket. While this process could leave marks on the surfaces of the fragment, the examiner will document those marks and, if possible, ensure that the marks do not interfere with the areas to be examined with the VCM, the microscope. Although this process may alter the shape of the jacket fragment, the examiner believes that the item should remain intact. The item is nevertheless fragile. Notice further indicates the FBI examiner informed the state that when he received the bullet jacket from the ATF, it appeared that a small portion of the fragment was detached from the main portion. Given this, the FBI examiner stated that it is possible that additional pieces of the fragment may inadvertently become detached during the microscopy analysis. Notice further indicates that the state is understanding that an ATF examiner who conducted a prior light comparison microscopy analysis of the bullet jacket fragment may have already folded back pieces of the bullet jacket fragment to expose its exterior surfaces. No explanation is offered in the notice as to why it is necessary for the FBI to use pliers on the fragile sample to fold back portions of the jacket fragment to expose the surface of the jacket that contacted the firearm when that process has already been performed by the ATF, with the result that the bullet fragment was capable of being examined but was apparently altered in the process. Okay, I think we have enough of an idea of what they're talking about to look at it. All right. Argument one. Yeah, we got constitutional arguments. Sure. This is not a terribly long motion, so we can just scroll through it here. Thank you for indulging me on this. 2, Utah Rule of Criminal Procedure 16 requires disclosure and meaningful access to all physical evidence. That makes sense. 3, Mr. Robinson offers reasonable methods to protect his constitutional statutory rights. Fair enough. That's it. They done it. Certificate of service. So I guess we're getting to the report now. And that's the state's notice. Exhibit 2, here is your report, laboratory report. Oh, now we know what it was. Oh, this is great. We know exactly what kind of gun we're dealing with now. This is breaking news. Mauser Model 98 30-06 Springfield caliber rifle. All right, let's look that up. And then we'll keep going. 30-06. What was it called? Springfield. Okay, let's see here. The Springfield is a highly versatile classic 30 caliber rifle cartridge introduced in 1906, serving as the primary U.S. military round for nearly 50 years. Offers an effective range up to 1,000 yards with significant stopping power for big game hunting and small human necks. Usually utilizing 150 to 220 grain bullets. Okay, so we know it was a 30-06 Springfield. Do they talk about all the different... Man, look at that. Look at the energy at the barrel. 3,000, 2,800 feet. That is unbelievable power. That's unbelievable. All right, let me stop sharing that. Go back to this. We will continue reading it. So now everyone that's like, you don't even know what kind of round it was. Yeah, now we do. 30-06 caliber cartridge case. Cartridge. Okay, so that one right there must be the empty. Oh, I can't highlight on this. 1 bullet jacket fragment and 4 lead fragments. Oh, so it was more than one piece. It was 4 different pieces or 5 different pieces. That's interesting that they did recover actually 5 pieces. They got the jacket and 4 pieces of lead. A fragment of the jacket and 4 pieces of lead. Report refers to exhibits by lab number. Following results only apply to the items tested. Exhibit 1 rifle was test fired and found to be in operable condition. Test fires were designated as Exhibit 1.11. Exhibit 2 consists of 1 30-06 Springfield caliber fired cartridge case bearing a Remington head stamp. Exhibit 2 cartridge case was identified as having been fired in the Exhibit 1 rifle. Okay, so the case they're good with, but that doesn't say what was in his neck. Exhibit 3 through 5 consist of 3 30-06 caliber unfired cartridges. Okay, we've got that. This is interesting. Tool marks were located on the exterior of Exhibit 2 cartridge case and Exhibit 3 cartridge scribe marks that are consistent with being produced by engraving and or rotary cutting tips commonly found and installed in handheld rotary tools. So this is the psychopathic dremeling of the cartridge case. Each Exhibit 6, this is the good one here. Exhibit 6 consists of 1 30 caliber class deformed, damaged bullet jacket fragment, designated 6A, and 4 lead fragments. So they didn't just recover 1 fragment. They recovered 1 deformed, damaged bullet jacket fragment and 4 lead fragments. The Exhibit 6A bullet jacket fragment could not be identified or excluded as having been fired from the Exhibit 1 rifle based on an agreement of all discernible class characteristics and neither sufficient agreement nor sufficient disagreement of those individual characteristics. The result of the comparison was inconclusive. That's an interesting line. We'll come back to that. Firearms that produce general rifling characteristics similar to those observed on Exhibit 6A bullet jacket fragment include numerous makes and models. Exhibit 6B through 6E lead fragments are not suitable for microscopic comparison. Appendix of this report. Okay. So the bullet jacket fragment could not be identified or excluded as having been fired. So they can't say it's the gun, but they can't also say it's not the gun. That's different than what was reported. That is different. Disposition of evidence. Here's the appendix. None of this is really matter. Inconclusive is an examiner's conclusion that all observed class characteristics are in agreement, but there is insufficient quality and or quantity of corresponding individual characteristics such that the examiner is unable to identify or exclude the two tool marks as having originated from the same source. The basis for an inconclusive conclusion is the examiner's opinion that there is insufficient quality and or quantity of individual characteristics to identify or exclude. Reasons for an inconclusive conclusion include the presence of microscopic similarity that is insufficient to form the conclusion of source identification, a lack of any observed microscopic similarity, or microscopic dissimilarity that is insufficient to form the conclusion of source exclusion. So really, the first two sound exclusionary to me, and they didn't say which one it was. So that's interesting. I'm glad she brought that up. So we have the ATF report. We know it was a 30-06 Springfield. We now know that it was a bullet jacket fragment that was damaged. And we know there were 4 lead fragments with it. So there were 5 total items recovered, allegedly, from inside of Charlie Kirk. Of those 5 items, 4 of them cannot be analyzed. The 4 pieces of lead, I guess, that make up the bullet itself. I wish they would have told us the grain, but I'll say this. I'm more convinced now after having read that is not the bullet that killed Charlie Kirk. whether it's planted evidence or what, that is not it. Because that eliminates things like fragmenting rounds and all that kind of stuff. That is, you saw the power that's coming out of there. 3,000 pounds, 2,800 pounds of force concentrated in a little bitty 0.3 of an inch object. That is tremendous power. Tremendous power. It's meant to take down big game. Meant to take down big game. That rules out all these stupid arguments that these Fed sloppers are giving us that, oh, you don't know what kind of round it was. Well, now we do. It's a 30-06 Springfield round. 150 to 220 grain round in all likelihood. So the ball's in your court, Fed sloppers. Go grab one of those rounds and get it to stop in 3 inches of meat. I'll be here waiting with bated breath. Bated breath. All right. Baron, you are the Jack Bauer of the internet. I watched season 1 of 24. I was in law school when it came out. I think. I'm pretty sure I was. If you know. If you know, you know. I know. Other than prayer, how do you mentally calm yourself to stand against elites publicly? Any philosophies, mentalities you focus on? No, I stand on philosophical consistency and intellectual honesty. As long as I'm being honest, as long as I'm being consistent, I don't care who's on the other side. You know, it doesn't matter whether it's big or little. And I'm battle tested. Like I've gone up against people bigger than these people. So I'm not that worried about it. So proud of my state. Let's go Dogs. Love you, Baron. So proud to be part of the RBP jury. Go Max. Yeah, it's a fun jury to be on. Way better than any other juries. I promise you that. Fort Bliss is worth looking into. The $1.2 billion contract approved for an immigration camp timeline aligns with CK assassination, and costs don't cost that much. Thank you for being honest and real. Duly noted. All I hear when you say that is no crying in baseball. Yeah, there's no crying in politics. Get out. JD, I love Erika. Not a good start, Mr. VP. Shabbat shalom. Start your shirt at home. Yes, you're interviewing the vice president. My goodness. Look presentable. Great point, Baron. Andrew's a diva. No way he'd be underdressed for this. But could that mean he's getting set up too? No, it means it was a last-second decision. That's exactly what that means. Fedslop, gaslight, grilling with a side of truth killing. Ooh, I like that. You guys are poetic tonight. Tired of cringing every time our government leadership goes to speak. Wish there was a way to do away with all the lobbying in our two-party system. Careful what you wish for. Biggest things we the people were gaslit over was COVID-19. Caused many people to wake up, use discernment, and realize why it's so important to teach our children from an early age how to be critical thinkers. Great show, Baron. Christ is king. Christ is king indeed. I think 9/11 was the biggest in our lifetime. COVID and Charlie Kirk certainly right up there with them, though. Baron schooling Andrew on how to put together a proper outfit for the VP. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is a guy who wears dress fans to church. All right, just understand. And even I would not show up like that. I'm the most underdressed person in almost any room I go into, and I would have dressed better than he did. I figured out why she didn't go on stage, Baron with the R. They didn't have fireworks. That could be. That could be. Not enough fireworks. Not enough sprinkles. EK only bailed because she forgot to pack her sparkles. Yeah, see. I want to know who fabricated Charlie GPT. Why did everyone go along with the Charlie successor plan, knowing her inability to lead? I guess they were gaslit. Excuse me. Man, it's already late. Sorry, guys. Here's what I think. I think the business of TPUSA, they're not worried about her. So whether that's some cover that they're running, doling out hundreds of millions of dollars, doing political favors, buying influence, like that, they don't care. She's not ruining any of that. So the business of TPUSA is probably going along swimmingly. But in order to keep that business alive for a decade, 2 decades or more, you have to have a front man who can pull it off and make it look legitimate. She's not the front man. She's not the front man. She's too much of a narcissist to walk out to an arena that holds 11,000 with only 1,000 present. It would crush her ego. She wouldn't care about humiliating anyone but herself, hence her cancel. I think that's what happened, honestly. I think she was there. Got my T-shirt. Yay. Christ is king. Christ is king indeed. Enjoy that T-shirt. No, hey. No Winnie the Poohing in that T-shirt. That's the rule. I kid. It's your T-shirt. Do what you want. Baron, first time catching you live this week. Fantastic episode. P.S. Fully support your refusal to be thought policed for using the R word. You are not wrong. Thank you. I don't want to be policed. Disregard my previous comment. You are spot on about it happening last minute as AK not being dressed properly for VP interview. Just fantastic investigative work. And that AK was there based on speaker's side glance to EK. Yeah, he was there. I'm just convinced. Now, again, subject to being corrected. It's my opinion. The thing you're describing with the pics, that's the ick. Druski gave everyone the ick about EK. That's what the kids say. My kids say ick. That has the ick. Baron, by the way, Gaslight was a great movie. Truly shows how this message can truly damage we the people and has for the last 60 years with the DS Marxist ideology. Praise God for giving us discernment. Christ is king. Christ is king indeed. Lionel said she was cooked over a month ago. Good call, Grandpa Lionel. Let's not call him Grandpa Lionel. Come on. He looks younger every year to me. Just came to say the Grinder comment was one for the books. I literally laughed out loud. Always excited to watch it. Hit the like button. Love y'all. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Now that was a fact. Like, that wasn't an opinion. They got together at Amfest and Grinder crashed in Phoenix. Like, that happened. So, in speaking with facts versus opinion, fact. Crashola. Dukakis in the Beetle Bailey helmet. Oh, yeah, I remember the laughter. Yes. See. What if Erika got same call CK did because of how badly she's fumbled everything? If only AK and security team took CK's text as seriously. Yeah, it's amazing. Now they take threats seriously. When the people who were there that day admitted they rolled up and like, I don't like the looks of this place. It's all right. Throw him out there. He'll be fine. Spoiler alert. 2 things. 1, did you enjoy the JP Sears and Alex Jones IQ test? I personally loved it. I did. I saw it. I thought it was great. I hope those are Alps you sneakily sneak in the cheek. Refreshing chill is my go-to. They're not. I need to. Thank you for bringing me face to face. You know, I'm a professional quitter. I've quit like 14 times. What's 15, right? Baron, thank you so much for one of your best opening statements, monologues. I think I've been gaslit my whole life. My family, then narcissistic relationships, and of course our government. Yeah, unfortunately it's a common tactic. CK was vehemently against DEI hire. Now look who his wife is now the poster child. The logo for DEI hires. Hers is more of a, what do they call that? Like a family hire? What's that called? Nepotism. Erika playing with AK like he's a puppy. Makes me feel nobody puts baby in a corner vibes tonight. Of course. Or could she finally have a mental break? I don't know. Part of me wonders if it, Candace put up her thumbnail with Victor Marx in it, and part of me wonders if that sent her over the edge. Baron, AK's Blavey moment, and DK's Druski skit remind me of the Howard Dean scream from 04. Yeah! Thanks for being here. Much love. Christ is king. And then we're going to Delaware. And then we're going to New Hampshire. And then we're going, yeah! If you have not heard the Howard Dean scream moment, man, a great moment from political history. How was that 22 years ago? Holy mackerel. Golly. I voted in that election. And I'd voted before. I'm old. Man, I feel old sometimes. But thank you. Yes. Christ is king. Christ is king indeed. It's also possible EK saw the crowd and her narcissistic hiney could not handle it. She cannot accept people don't like her. Yeah. Maybe some comments from last episode of The Greatest Ally being like a Joe or just trying to piss you off. They might be here now. Yeah, I thought of that. Being right, my beloved husband would say he didn't want to be right, but in the right. Also, empty auditorium, not good look for Vance Kirk ticket. Yeah, if that's the future, I mean, that looked like a Joe Biden rally. You got me at the stadium being anemic. Perfect euphemism. Fatigue, tired, low energy, vitality. Describes me when anemic. LOL. You know, I'm the opposite of anemic. I store too much iron. And I used to have to give blood for it. I probably should get tested again, frankly. I haven't done that in a long time. But every like 8 to 16 weeks, I'd have to give blood to lower my iron levels. And they would mark it for anemic people. Get it in there. My stuff's loaded. So in this day and age of technology, EK couldn't have been shown a big screen virtually at the event. That's funny because that's what they did with Matt Walsh. Remember when he was scared to look at Candace in the eye and he was afraid because he's a little tiny, weenie man? Remember that? Matt Walsh was, you guys know what I'm talking about. Matt Walsh was invited to Catholics for Catholics event in Washington, D.C., and he graciously accepted. And he was considered a keynote or a headliner. And then he heard Candace was coming and he got scared like a little child, like a little 4-year-old, scared of the dark. Remember that? Remember that? He thought there was a monster under his bed and he wouldn't even look her in the eye. Didn't even want to be in the same room because he's such a pansy. Yeah, he wouldn't even show up, but he at least showed up virtually. They could have done that. Erika bailed because they're either trying to phase her out or replace a new CEO and using safety as an excuse for her defamation lawsuit. I tend to agree that they're trying to phase her out. I think this is the beginning of the end. I think she'll be gone in probably sooner than you think. They can't say this was a disaster and that she never should have been appointed. Like that won't look well. I mean, that won't look good. But they can say she's scared and, you know, all this. I mean, this was the whole thing everyone was saying the whole time. Like, this is how your husband died. Why would you take over the company? I mean, he died in your job. You know, they used to have a rule in war. Like if there were two brothers and they were the only brothers and one of them died, they'd go, that was a whole thing of Saving Private Ryan, wasn't it? They'd go get the other one because they didn't want them to both be killed in war and kill off the whole family. That's it. I'm going to call it. TPUSA has effed around and jumped the shark. Did Arthur Fonzarelli not teach him anything? Hey, my BFF Christ is always king. Always king indeed. Did you see the lab results from the ATF that Andrea Burkhart posted? I just did moments ago. Watching from South Alabama. Out of South Alabama come a country boy. Looking for a man named Jim. I am a pool shooting boy. My name is Willie McCoy, but down home they call me Slim. I'm looking for the king of 42nd Street. You drive an old drop top Cadillac. I'm a big Jim Croce fan. I don't know if I've ever shared that. Huge Jim Croce fan. South Alabama, I want to say thank you for saying what the jury feels, and that's go to hell, because that's where liars should go if they're not repentant. Awesome show. Oh, hey, I see what you did there with the AU. War Eagle. Yeah, War Eagle. What's UGA going to do with all the unused fireworks? 4th of July is going to be lit. Toilet Paper USA should have hired Druski to fill in for EK. None would be the wiser. Where's Ian? I'm having withdrawals. Go beat UB dog. Go the Marxist. Ian's fine. He's working on a software venture, and he's doing a good job of it. Doing a really good job. Baron? Am I the only one who wants to bang my head against the wall anytime I hear someone mention EK as the future VP? She has no qualifications. CIA spy doesn't count either. Hey, it worked for George Bush, the senior. Don't say it doesn't work. Candace called out Donald Jr. He's a friend of Charlie and an avid hunter and knows darn well a 30-06 was not used, but he was silent. And here's Erika rubbing elbows with Junior attending his fiance's shower. What happened to the ex Mrs. Newsom? Remember, Don Jr. was dating Gavin Newsom's old gal forever. What was her name? Kimberly Guilfoyle? And then they were like, hey, Don Jr.'s getting engaged. And I was like, oh, finally, make an honest woman out of Kimberly Guilfoyle. It wasn't her. I was like, where did this girl come from? Hollywood, guys. Hollywood. I don't know. I don't know where this woman came from. What happened to where is Kimberly Guilfoyle? Someone get Kimberly Guilfoyle. Where is Ja? If the charity you were involved in is still running, you should shout them out, pin their details. I could do that. Let me see. They're a great charity. Here's their website. See if they have a. So this is it. It's a great charity, by the way. It's called COPE, Crisis Outreach for Pregnancy Emergency. COPE Pregnancy Center. Free pregnancy tests, abortion pill reversal, free parenting classes, supplies, abortion adoption, FAQ, get involved, resources for parents. That is their email there. They've got an Amazon wish list here. They got a donation button where you can donate. I didn't know if they had a QR code or something. You know what? Let me do this. I can make a QR code and put it on the screen. Hold, please. Good call on that, by the way. Let me make a quick QR code and I will put it on the screen. There. If you are so inclined to donate, right there. Thank you for that. That's very kind of you. You guys are so generous. They're going to say, what happened last night? What in the world happened last night? It's a great charity. I think the last year I was there, we served like 90-something hundred women. Yeah. But bear on. My wife and I appreciate the honesty you and Candace share with us. Y'all always go, Max. Thank you so much. God bless you and the family. Christ is King. Christ is King indeed. Thank you. CEO Baron finally caught the. Yeah, I am. I forgot. I was appointed by Charlie Kirk, the CEO of Turning Point. So technically, that's my organization that was humiliated in Georgia last night. Guys, we need to redo the show. Stop it. Ignore everything we've said. We got to completely redo the show. This is a disaster. My company is hurting. Woohoo, Coloradan here, been on to Victor since he announced his run at Brave Church service days after Charlie Memorial. Weird. Please hold. I'm holding. Maybe glitter bits, sparklers, and glitter shakers were stuck in transit in the Strait of Hormuz. Yeah, maybe. Hey, man, did you see Coach's live where he showed a Victor Marx video where his eyes turned black, then go back to normal? Keep going plus ultra against these Wolves. What? I got to find that. I watched Coach today. I didn't watch all of him, obviously. I watched a good chunk of it. I didn't see that part. That's terrifying. If that's true, that's terrifying. Weird. Blake Bednar's ditched Jesse on Fire joint stream yesterday with a 911 excuse and supposedly pulled his socials. Same time as Erika no-showed. Yeah, but I think he's back. I saw him on there harassing Candace today. He wasn't gone long. He's back. He's Baron, off topic. I can't reconcile the fact that Palm Gun guy clearly has something in his hand and squeezes at the moment of the Big Bang. Press a trigger to detonate the mic or necklace device. Just wondering your take on the idea, Christ is King. Christ is King indeed. I mean, I'm willing to allow that. That there was some sort of detonation and it would require a remote, and maybe he was holding the remote. I will not allow Palm Gun. I'm not doing it. I mean, there's certain things I've ruled out. Like I've ruled out he was shot by aliens. Illegal or space. Well, actually, not necessarily illegal aliens. I guess Would foreign military count as illegal? I don't know how this. I don't know what the rules are. I don't know what the rules are. Is it if you come from a foreign military and you're here assassinating high profile political figures, are you illegal alien? Or are you like what? But for the let's rule out aliens. I'm gonna rule out an animal did it. I'm ruling out that a locust got carried away and dive bombed him. Ruling that out. And I'm ruling out palm gun. Ruling that out as well. But trigger device, maybe. I don't know. Myre. Oh, you're king. Mire. Baron. Oh, gosh. What is all that? Rosie. All right, here we go. In tears after opening statement. Ex gaslit me for years. Effects real. My soul's broken. I'll be gone next week at trauma therapy intensive to jumpstart EMDR with trauma therapist. I don't know what that is, but I hope it's helpful to you. I genuinely do. Hope it's helpful. Grateful I found your channel to distract chaos in my brain. I'll binge watch when I get back. Popcorn in bed, Baron. I put a sheet down. Good, please. You can eat the crumbs in the bed, but put something down. Sounds like you're dealing with a lot already. I'm not making light of it at all, but crumbs in bed would send me over the edge. I hope you get the help you deserve. I genuinely do. Like that's not me saying that. I genuinely hope you get the help, Rosie, you deserve. I'll pray for you. You didn't ask for it, but I will anyway. Thank you. But Baron, my first super chat. Love the opening statements, high IQ content, and even the crash outs. But you won my heart when you mentioned the Avett Brothers and Drive-By Truckers. You sound like a fan of good music. Sister Golden Sunshine. You sound like a fan of really good music. Lady in grocery store is right. You do look like my beloved and late Joe. 2 years coming up on 5th of July. Still haven't run out of tears. Listen to If We Were Vampires and now play it all the time. Christ is King indeed. Isn't that an amazing song? Oh, gosh. I wish YouTube would let me play stuff like that. I guess I could try to get permission, but I would love to play that song for you guys. If you've not heard it, go find it. Spotify, YouTube, find it somewhere. If We Were Vampires. If We Were Vampires by Jason Isbell, Isbell. It's amazing. Such a beautiful song. I don't even want to read the lyrics. I want you to hear it, him sing it. Man, I'm sorry to hear about your loss. I genuinely am. Transporting seems to be the required prerequisite experience. Pro network of transporters, indeed. A couple of people with trafficking connections is one thing, but almost everyone, that isn't a coincidence. What a coinky dink, in my humble opinion. Why is everyone? That's what I'm wondering. Why is everyone? We own a gun store. You'd be amazed who has FFLs, doctors, preachers, accountants, politicians. They don't have to go into stores to order things. I hadn't considered that. But there's several different classes, aren't there? Like isn't a class 1 like I have a store? That's interesting. Duly noted. Duly noted. We've already read this one. Oh, but thank you for gracing us with your presence today. I forgot. Some people think you're my boss. Quiet. The boss is here. I only have one boss. Only have one boss. That's Mrs. Coleman. She's all the boss I need. She's not bossy, though. We need AdFleet to make a Clerks TPUSA video. I'm not even supposed to be here. Cash, how many hours? 33 in a row. Yeah. Clerks was a great movie, if that's what you're talking about. Baron, love you in the show. I always literally LOL every time, all while increasing my IQ. Please check out Michael Scott's line in Gay Witch Hunt, Season 3, Episode 1, about the word R. Hope you LOL. I'll do that. That's a good tip there. And I'm a gun fan. I love them. I have lots of them. Baron. That's true. It's true. Granny Manny. Thank you. Please make a shirt that says, I'm not giving in. I'm never going to give you up. You know you're going to get Rickrolled tonight, did you? Never going to let you down. Never going to give in. Oh, that's not in the song. Baron, I think the emphasis on the flight tracking with Erika's excuse is establishing a precedent so that airplanes could go dark and not be tracked anymore. If you have them spooked, I think you have them spooked. No, they're already dark. You have to find them on the ADS-B program. They don't, all her planes that I'm aware of don't go to regular software, but whatever. I mean, the thing is dumb. Elon Musk's plane was still is tracked for years. The guy's worth $500 billion. $500 billion. That guy's in danger. He was one of the most hated men in America for a while when he worked in the Trump administration. She's a nobody. That's her problem. She's a nobody. I think that's what bothers her so much. Nobody. Is TPUSA just gaslighting its donors to fund the EK campaign as VP? What next? Tired of the rest of us paying for it? Give me a 501c3 break. A good call. Good call, Gary. Who's been caring for EK's kids since September? As a mom of 3, cannot fathom leaving young kids for all these events, especially after their dad's murder. I would not go into the same line of business. The king and queen, the dream team. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Check out the clinic where Tyler Robinson's mom works. Okay. At the TPUSA event last night, Vance stated we should not be mad at the people who killed Charlie Kirk. A bit of a slip there. Who are those people? Oh, we should be mad at the people who killed Charlie Kirk. Yeah, I am. I genuinely am. Question is, who are they? Thank you, Coach Candace, Ian, Theo, Baron, and company for sharing a little of y'all's friendship on air, community building, and fun to see. Go Max. Go Max indeed. Carry the glowworm, the Greek General Patton Druski. You should do stand-up IU grad here. I don't know if I'd be good at stand-up. I used to actually have a bunch of them in my phone. I would think of bits that I thought would be great stand-up, and I'd write them down, and I'd run them by my wife. She didn't think they were as funny as I did. But maybe I just need a better audience. I don't know. Did you see attorney Andrea Bullard got the ballistics document and reviews it on her channel? Just came out a few hours ago. Yeah, we got it too. But Byron, Candace typed in the chat. She's also begging to interview him. Oh, George. I've got a screenshot of all our chats. I'm obsessed. Don't tell her that. She'll quit chatting. She's begging to interview him, yeah. See, you guys spoiled the surprise. I was going to hit him with it in person. Andrea Burkhart. Yeah. I know who you're talking about. Baron, love your work. Have you seen the new Erika gaslighting video? It's a must watch. You should have her on. She's hilarious. I owe her a text. I feel so bad. I finally caught up with Adfleet today, and I've owed her a text for like a week and a half. I'm so far behind on my texts. And the problem is I can do very little on the days I have a show. I can only talk for a little bit here and there. And it's, I get so far behind. I feel so rude. Skerika, if you're listening, I'm going to call you. I promise. But yeah, she's hilarious. During the VP's scolding the truth seekers during the event, he made a huge Freudian slip. Instead of, they should be searching for the people who killed Charlie Kirk. Thanks for all you do. Yes, the people. Indeed. We are. JD Vance. Why is everybody saying this at once? Wow. Why did all 3 of you say that in a row? What's happened? Watching The Handmaid's Tale. I think Erika based her evil eye look on the main character's trademark expression. It's hilariously similar. I've never seen The Handmaid's Tale. I emailed you, Victor +1. I might not see it. In your opinion, what do you think the percentage is that William Sasha Riley will ever become part of the DJT narrative? Seems people are scared or doubt his story. You got to have more than your word on a story like that. I hate to tell you, because otherwise everybody's subject to that. You know, you got to have more than just he said, she said in a situation like that. It's unfortunate. It's reality. I would have spent more, but we're saving money for our security detail. Okay, Corey. What security detail? Do I know you? I feel I think I don't want to say it out loud and be wrong. I think you're who I think you are. Thank you. Thank you. JD slipped up at Georgia. Why is everyone saying this all at once? It must have been when I played that clip or something. Every time you end a show, I know I have the most accurate info there is. Thank you. Keep going, Max. Wearing my high IQ shirt tonight. Well, thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for wearing the shirt. The TP Action hosting DJT event at AZ called Build the Red Wall 417. EK is a speaker holding it at one of the big geofence churches, Dream City. Andy Biggs, governor candidate, speaking too. I'm assuming she won't be there if there's a threat, right? 2 days. I'm assuming she won't make it. I can only imagine. Please give your thoughts on why the Republican Party isn't distancing themselves from TP. They have to be smarter than this. Are they reading it wrong? Or are people still duped? I don't know. And I can't give them because I don't know. Luke 22:36. But now he hath a purse, let him take it, and likewise a scrip. And he that hath not, let him sell his coat and buy a sword. Okay. Baron, my father wears sneakers in the pool was to test how much of a Seinfeld superfan you really are. Still love you all the same. Oh, okay. I had no idea what you were talking about. I was so scared. So scared. Apparently, I'm not that big of a superfan. I don't know what you're talking about. Seinfeld sneakers in the pool. I'm looking it up. Your father wears sneakers in the pool is a memorable line from Seinfeld used by George Costanza to mock Jerry's parents' eccentricities. Fair enough. Fair enough. That one got past me, admittedly. But I do like Seinfeld quite a bit. Johnny 2 times. Yes, Veronica 1 time. What can I do for you? Can you work out how to say Gentile and say Nebuchadnezzar as well? Love y'all. Yeah, but there's a word genteel as well. Genteel. And so that could go either way. And Nebuchadnezzar is, I know how to say that. OMG, I am dying. Thou shalt go by 26,000 in guns. New merch quality quote there. Yeah, I just say stuff. With that outfit you're wearing, you could join the Slavic Squat Club. Oh, I can squat like a Slav. I've got good squat depth. Good squat depth. King Baron, I feel so blessed to be part of this amazing truth discerning community. Our one true God has already won this battle. But man, I'm so grateful to be part of this real truth seeking army. Yeah, it's quite the community. It's fun to be part of. God bless y'all, Baron and Candace. Christ is king indeed. Love y'all. I love you too. Going off the Mean Girls comment, them trying to push the everybody grieves differently narrative is like Gretchen trying to make fetch happen. Never seen it. That I don't even know what it means to make fetch happen. It sounds dirty. Sounds like it's rated R, if I'm being honest. My kid was part of the protest at UGA yesterday. They were peaceful and included conservatives and Christians, contrary to TP, others calling them lunatics. Yeah, they should be protest. My spouse uses gaslighting in every argument. I recognized it, so I just stopped having deep conversations at all. This makes a sad life. I lost my faith a while ago, but still hope from time to time. Oh, that's really sad. Wake up and wonder why. Yeah, the important thing about gaslighting is realizing that not every disagreement is gaslighting. In fact, trying to make every disagreement gaslighting is a form of gaslighting. Gaslighting is a meticulous, systematic, planned destruction of the other person. And if you make it so you're not allowed to have any disagreement whatsoever without it being called gaslighting, you're gaslighting. So then be careful. Ain't it interesting? Discord messages within minutes of N2100L and imprints on Losi within minutes of 1098L. Backpacking crowd by Red Umbrella. I don't know what that last line means, but yeah, it's interesting. There's no doubt about it. Baron, I realize you remind me of Bear Reinhardt, lead singer of Need to Breathe. My favorite older song of theirs is Girl Named Tennessee. Look him up. All right, well, we'll make sure you're not insulting me here. The guy who called me Woody Harrelson earlier certainly did. Bear Reinhardt. I'll allow that. That's a pretty good looking man. Never heard of the band, never heard of him. Yeah, I'll allow that. Why does he wear a hat all the time? Is he bald? Where's a picture of him without a hat? There's a picture. No, he got great head of hair. Why is he doing that? Is that like his thing? He wears hats? The hat guy? You know, there's hat guys. They don't go anywhere without their hat. I mean, I got a hat right here. I got another hat right here. Hats galore. But I don't wear them all the time. Let that scalp breathe, baby. That scalp breathe. Like how the brain breathes through the head. Why will they need colleges anymore when they're infiltrating high schools? Infiltrating by force. In some cases, it's a change of plans. Could be. But bear on, if you look closely at AK's pant leg hem, it looks like he's wearing black jeans. I didn't want to say that, but I thought that. I did not want to be the one to say it, but I certainly thought those were black jeans. Which raises two issues, obviously. One, you would never go interview the vice president in jeans. Two, why is the man wearing black jeans? Am I like that out of style? I don't know what he's doing. I've told a few podcasters, including Ian, I would listen more and recommend them to family and friends if they would drop the bad words. I guess they don't want more viewers. Thanks for mentioning this. Yeah, I just don't understand why you would intentionally reduce the size of your audience. I'm here to throw in my vote for Headmaster Candace, allowing us all to watch Baron chatting up Lord Farmer. We are a high IQ outfit. Thank you, Miss Cato. I'll be sure to show her that. Victor Marx is a scary feller. I'll be safe dealing with him. He gives me real demonic vibes. Me too. Erika was afraid she couldn't keep her hands off JD, so she stayed home and blamed Candace. Jesus is king. Indeed, indeed. Hey, Baron, great show as usual. If you're going to use Lionel's HOV lane reference, you need to pay him $33 each time. Fair is fair. That's a good. I need to give him a super. Good call. Good call. I charged Zach. He paid. Coach charged me. I paid. Now I know Lionel's fee. I'll pay. Let me find him live. Good call. Good call. He's lucky. I'm lucky, I guess. I can't pronounce any other word he uses because it would cost me a fortune. I mean, those are like $75 words each. He's like, he's vociferousness. I'm like, what's that mean? He's von slipluffless. I'm like, whoa. Sounds like that Paula girl praying. Like he's just saying stuff. I don't even think they're really words he's using. Now, Lionel, admit it. You're just making stuff up. You're just making stuff up, Lionel. Wilder Woody Vollus Club Blues. Every time you finish, my high IQ brain keeps spinning. Please introduce a closing statement, Bible, so I can sleep peacefully. The Lord will fight for you. You only need to be still. Oh. Yeah, I don't know about a closing statement. I do try to give a little summary sometimes of what have we learned today. We got a new member. Hey, King Baron, would love to see a podcast episode of Candace, Coach, you and Zach together answering questions. Christ is King. Christ is King, indeed. That would be a fun show. It'd just be very difficult to line everybody's schedules up. Everybody's got a show at different times, you know. It's like when the firefighters have an event or something. Somebody's got to like man the fire station. You can't have them all at the event. Not that we're firefighters. You get my point. We love your show and came to comments just to hear you say buccal one more time. Go backs. Hey, the buccal swab. Luke 22:36, duly noted. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry made me laugh. My mother used to say this, and she was hilarious. Your mother sounds amazing. I don't know where that saying comes from. Can you look at the video of the guy on the roof the kids took? What time and where? All black, not TR. Also missing 2 hours. Possible nap. Also, could the steak restaurant be wrong? I mean, they could be wrong, but I would think either they or Candace is lying because apparently they have a credit card receipt. So I would think it would be difficult for them to be wrong. The nap I've considered. EK saw CO show and all that tea spilled caused severe panic, anxiety attack, and she just couldn't go on. IMO. That is YO, your opinion. But I don't. That would have been about the time she put up the tweet announcing she was going, or the post or whatever that had the little thumbnail. I love the show. Doubling back on the small white box truck van pulling in as TR and white SUV pulls out a shopping center. Any news on it? None. I wish we had it. Has anyone else noticed EK and JD look like they could be related? Maybe siblings. We've talked about that. Features are very similar. Plus, heard EK may have been adopted. Yeah, we've talked about all that and more. Go watch some Real Baron Podcast Archives. I am your humble host. By the way, you're the only person I've ever heard. You're the only other person I've ever heard use the word wackadoodle besides me. My husband always makes fun of me when I say it. Well, why would he make fun of you? Mama llama. Wackadoodle's a great word. It's descriptive. It's almost onomatopoeia. You can almost hear it. Wackadoodle. Wackadoodle. Attendees had to RSVP at Athens to save a seat in the arena. Thought they had a huge crowd until they arrived. So she had to be there. Yeah. I also think the other thing that hurt EK's image was her being dishonest and not owning her past. Also, she's not very open, whereas Charlie was. You could relate to Charlie. We can't relate to Erika. All of that is true. I think every word of that is true. X has been a cesspool of characters. Well, unless you're on my feed, then it's amazing. We appreciate you, Baron, truly. Albert Pujols was Brad Lidge's Druski moment, sitting right by first base, and we felt the oxygen leave the park when he hit that home run. He hit a lot of them. Didn't he hit 700 or something? Thank you. Never moved his feet when he batted, by the way. You notice that? His feet stayed planted. He started with a really wide base, and he just turned those hips and fired. Don't recommend it, but he made it work. Thank you, Lynette. 13 pounds of mascara. Now my mascara is running. Thanks for being one of the good ones. Your humor is diabolical. Diabolical? Diabolical? Christ is king indeed. Diabolical? No. Hey, B, 1 out of 10. How humiliated do you think she feels? She is no Charlie. We down under would refer to her as a tool. Oh, we say tool. We say tool here. I assume she's pretty humiliated, and that's probably the people who actually like her that probably are lashing out because of that, but it's not our fault for recognizing reality. My goodness, my son hasn't spoken to me and whole family for 5 years due to his wife's lies and gaslighting. Got me off from my grandchildren. Christ is king indeed. That's tragic. I'm sorry to hear that, Joe. I'm amused at the people who think TR's parents are testifying for the prosecution just because they're calling them. And they never watched a real trial. I've wondered that. Because you can put anybody on a witness list, especially if you're trying to play the press up. It's as if putting someone on the witness list means they're going to just savage the defendant. And that's nonsense. Nonsense. Don't want my 13 pounds of mascara to run. Baron, you crack me up. Do you think TPUSA will pull EK as CEO, given that she's circling the drain due to public opinion? I tend to think they probably will, honestly. It would be smart. Or just put her completely out of commission. Just say, hey, she's the CEO. She's running the shop. She's not going to be doing events. We have a stable. I mean, they got a stable of pretty good talent, actually. We got a stable of good talent, and they're going to be out there doing the events. And Erika Kirk's going to be talking about finances and fundraising and looking at spreadsheets and doing one-on-one meetings with the C-suite. And I mean, easy. Just too busy, wants to be home with her kids. Like, Baron, it's easy enough to determine Charlie's murder was not Tyler. They seized security footage at the hospital, and the gun they showed us as Tyler's was not a World War II era Mauser. And 300 blackout is very effective up to 150 yards. Well, duly noted. Duly noted. Yeah, not only that, they lost the footage of him turning himself in. Nonsense. They, you say they seized at the hospital? Yeah. They paved over the scene. You forgot that part where they paved over the scene, got rid of the SUV. Has anyone checked on Ian? I have. We've texted. He's fine. He's just working, guys. He probably should do a show, though. Just let people know he's still alive. CO yesterday left me stunned now that we have seen a rifle that quick folds into a backpack Have you considered looking at all imagery? Maybe one will show one of the Tylers with one. I'll admit, a 300 blackout round that's traveling under 1,000 miles an hour, especially if it's a light grain round, but they're saying it's a 30-06 Springfield round. I mean, dear Brent, thank you for avenging the brave souls, CK, in such a brilliant way. You are as brave and as remarkable. I don't think so. I had my second son on 3/29. I named him Baron after you. 1R. Thank you again, Lindsay from Washington State. Did you really? Wow. That is one of the finest and kindest compliments I've ever heard. Thank you. Thank you. Man, that's amazing. I hope you keep me updated on his little progress as he goes. That is so amazing and humbling. Now I got to behave. Can't think the guy they named you after is a psycho. Don't. Hey, little Baron, don't listen to the 13 pounds of mascara comment. That was a little much. Thank you. That's so humbling. Victor Marx also appeared on the Sean Ryan show. I saw that. I thought about watching it. I heard Larry Loomer loves Alpo, canned and federal. Oh, Larry thing trips me out. It's pronounced B-U Cal. Saludos from Indiana. Been here since the beginning of the CK case and following Candace since before Brigitte Macatron. My first super chat. Go Max. Crisis King. Crisis King indeed, Brian. I was talking to somebody about the, who was I talking to? I think it may have been Jesse, actually. I talked to him for a long time yesterday on my day off. That's when we got the idea for the show. But I think it was him I was telling this. I was like, when I watched the first episode of her Becoming Brigitte series, I thought, I don't know. That's kind of wild. That's kind of out there. And I said, then I watched the second episode and I was like, I'm pretty sure she's right. And I said, man, by the time I got to the last one, I was like, that's a dude. Got a little Macron. She's packing. She's packing. I was convinced. My hubby says a fold rifle will still zeroed out when you unfold it. Not saying he was shot. If you were going to shot CK, that would be a perfect weapon. Rifle, low velocity with silencer. Sounds like firecracker. I agree. Please read Acts 7:43, Crisis King. You said please. Man. Hard to argue with please. That's how kids get more chicken nuggets, you know? Yeah, they've already eaten 3 chicken nuggets. You want them to eat a 4th. They say, may I please have a 4th? You're like, oh, yeah. When you got a bunch of kids, though, you got to ration the nuggets. Can't let them get too carried away with those nuggets. You'd be broke. All right. And you took up the tent of Moloch. Oh, we got a Moloch reference, ladies and gentlemen. Let me sit up a little bit for this one. Woo! I had no idea we were going Moloch tonight. And the star of the god of Rephan, the figures which you made to worship, and I will remove you beyond Babylon. All right. I don't know what we're talking about, but all right. Moloch. Opening was amazing. I've been in a gaslighting relationship. Thought I was crazy. Right before I left, I referred to him calmly as Mr. Gaslighter to his face, repeatedly. Thank you for all you do. Christ is king. Christ is king indeed. It's terrifying. How many of you have experienced this? Not for nothing, but I looked back at Charlie's events 1+ years before 9/10. He's had his necklace for at least that. If it's the necklace, can't confirm. I think it was. She said she got it for his first birthday after they were married. Recently wondered about overseas listeners. Recently, I wondered about overseas listeners. Can't speak for all. Hi, Balkans. But I'm an American expat. 9/10 shooketh me. And I had no one to discuss all this with. I was shooketh. So I've been stuck in my head. Thought I was crazy. Realized not crazy. High IQ. Yes, indeed. You did have a high IQ. Okay, expat. I don't know what that crazy looking symbol is. What is that? I can't even look that up. I can't spell that. That's like Prince's name when he changed his name. So thank you though. So for instance, maybe using a spy plane flying low to clone someone's phone, pings, iMessages, etc. Oh, if they can do that, we're all doomed. I asked ChatGPT with all known info who did NCK, and it replied, "There's no credible verified info. He's dead and likely alive. Christ is king. Christ is king indeed." That's why you can't trust ChatGPT. That's right. Christ is king indeed. I had a white gold necklace come into contact with the prongs of a hairdryer plug. As I was pulling it out of the outlet, the circuit tripped. The necklace was severed and flew across the bathroom. For real? That's good info, Joanne. First, I'm glad you're safe. Second, wow. Maybe the backpack pew-pew was used in conjunction with many other aspects, i.e. possibly used to fire to the open hatchback of SUV, multiple distractions. I hear that theory. I have a hard time believing you're going to shoot over the heads of innocent people in order to stage an assassination. But maybe. People are psychos. EK's lie about when CK's book was finished has been bothering me. Not sure if it matters that much, but it's another lie and it's tiring, frankly. Yeah, it's your opinion and mine. I had a dentist appointment today and kept incorrectly calling it a buckle. I roll. Thanks for always going Max, Baron. You're the best. Why are you talking about your buccal to the dentist? I just small talk my dentist. Just small talk. I had the same dentist the same practice when I was a little bitty kid. And my kids, we recently went to a different dentist because of insurance reasons, but like my number on the dentist is like in the triple digits or something, and theirs is like 5 digits. Like, place has grown up. I've never once mentioned a buccal to the dentist. I didn't know what a buccal was until a couple days ago. And I know some of you people think it's a buckle, but come on, let's be honest. Don't forget John Kerry's photo hiking the football. It's worse than the one you showed. What a doofus. First time super chat ever. Stellar shows today by you and Candace. Just did my Bible in a year reading. Proverbs 7:16-19 feels very on point right now between Father Mike Schmidt, Candace, and you. This Catholic has found a way back home after 30 years. Thanks. 30 years. Wow, Marco. Congratulations. 30 years. That's amazing. Truth evades. So they have a piece of a bullet jacket fragment that already hasn't been a match to the gun. So to further depredate the evidence, they're going to use gentle tools like pliers. Yeah, now you see why the defense filed an emergency motion. Good TR brought pew-pew day, night before to the roof. I mean, maybe, but why dump the old 30-06 then? Actually not a bad idea. Take 2 guns. Dump one, use the other. No match. Watching while eating Dairy Queen. Oh, do you get a box of tendies in a blizzard like the alleged Tyler Robinson? But you don't need to worry. My only other stop today was Wally World. Appreciated the positivity for my GMA. Things are looking worse with abdomen leak, but we will pray. We will pray indeed. Missy, Mel, sometimes Melissa. So you didn't go get a steak immediately afterwards? You didn't drive 3 hours for a steak as soon as you got done, then drive 3 hours back to the exact city where you just were in? EK, recent IG post prompts Gigi to say Jesus was interesting. I didn't see that one. I sent you an email. I know you said you probably wouldn't see it, but you should take a look at it when you get a chance. Why don't you just tell me what you said in it? I mean, you have $5. Tell me what you're going to say. Did DK have too many libations at the bridal shower, hungover, and couldn't appear? I don't know. I don't know if she drinks. Radicalized on Fox Nation as Tyler already guilty. What happened to innocent until proven guilty? Yeah, well. How quaint. Watching your show has caused me to have an existential crisis. What could we do if the government just said, it was an op? What are you going to do? I mean, Isn't that basically what they did with Epstein? Isn't that basically what they did with 9/11? Isn't that basically what they've done with everything? Like the Iran war, that's what they did. We're doing this so they'll open the Strait of Hormuz. Well, it was open before you started it. Yeah. But now we got to open it. Okay. All right. Now we're going to close it. What? Wait, we're going to close it? I thought we were mad they closed it. But we're going to close it. Like, okay. All right. And then there are people out there like, you just got to trust the man. He knows what he's doing. 17D chess, bro. Luke 22:36, Jesus and weapons. Just saying. Yes. Jesus wanted someone to buy $26,000 worth of guns. Don't Fed Slop USA say it was frangible round. Yikes. Oh, didn't Fed Slop USA say it was a frangible round? Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point. It was not, apparently. A lot of wait a minute. And why would they need to push? This is a good point. Why would they need to push the frangible round theory when they knew from the autopsy what's already been recovered? That autopsy report was done on September 16th. Why are we talking frangible rounds? You know it's not a frangible round. You tell me they did an autopsy report and they didn't mention the metal they pulled out of his neck? That's a great point. Thank you, Jackie. Fantastic. Maybe best $5 you ever spent. A lot of domains are bought just to resell. Oh, that's true. I haven't ruled that out. King Baron. Now we know what was in the mince container that Harpo received, allegedly. Go Max. I think they might have just been in his pocket. Wonder if Victor Marx and his wife were the pastor couple that Erika spent time with the year she hid and read the Bible in Colorado. Endless Summer Nights was a banger. It was a banger. Man, Richard Marx had a moment. He had like 3 hits. He had Sign It on the Dotted Line. Don't Say Nothing. Endless Summer Nights. That was a great album. Oh, Don't Mean Nothing. Don't Mean Nothing. Not Don't Say Nothing. Don't mean nothing at all. Yeah, that's a great song. Man, the 80s were rockers. That's a great point. I'm going to write that down on my notes. Could Victor Marx, I got to get my notes pulled up. Hold, please. Here we go. I'll use a question mark. Victor Marx, pastor when EK disappeared? Good question. I don't know how we would. I don't know what research I can do on that, but it's a great idea. I might have to start saying it and see what happens. TPUSA immortality is a deal breaker. Fire leadership, hire you. Yeah, I've already been appointed. I just haven't been busy. I haven't had a chance to go out there yet. Use it as an open source, public gov information and funding source for our local needs and regenerating our land, helping and feed all. Well, I'm going to use it to fly around on Gulf Streams all day. I don't know what you're talking about. Hey, it's good for the goose, Yeah. Since CK was not shot with 30-06, yet lead fragments were found in autopsy, safe to assume CK was shot on the way to hospital. No. Safe to assume that that's what they were shoving in his neck. Yes. Or just handed the autopsy person, say you found this. Can't imagine medical examiner would lie then again. MD was in Google searches prior to the event. So was the medical examiner. Not the one who did the report, but the chief one. Love your work. Watching from Australia. That's not a knife. It's a knife. EK was hungover, 100%. You don't know that. You can't know that. The report is irrelevant. Tyler Robinson simply couldn't have done what they said he did. No photo with him and the gun yet. Well, that's a good point. Sounds like shrapnel from the cross necklace. I don't think the cross necklace was lead. Where did that come from? You see that? Do you guys ever have that happen? Men married to women with really long hair. Do you ever have that happen? The hair was like that long. It is not mine. Second, Super Chat, my G. My G. All right, of all the nicknames, my G is the first. This is the first time I come across this. That was in the Tyler texts, right? Oh, my B. Not G. I'm going to be late, my B. You forgot that. I'm going to be late, my B. That was his Tupac era. My son goes to UGA. He said the crowd was very thin. Oh, good. Are they using Ozempic? Or are they just diet and exercise? Meat, vegetables, nuts and seeds, some fruit, little starch, no sugar? How'd they get so thin? She isn't a Charlie where he is there for the message. She is there for her fame. Yeah. Baron, thanks for the shout out on the Erika interview, saying that she lived with her parents, grandparents, and brother, 4 adults plus her dad. Desiree, I thank you for watching. And thanks for the generosity. But yeah, that was a great find. Where did you find that? I couldn't find a link to it. I almost didn't use it because I couldn't find a link to it. But I did. I went with it. Trusted you didn't just write it in your Photoshop or something. But thank you. Well, you say 4 adults plus her dad. It could be more than that because it just said grandparents, and people have more than 2 grandparents. Could have been 6 adults. The gun had a serial number. Tyler Robinson said it didn't. Number 1 was the actual gun. Yeah, that's a good call. That's a good catch. I didn't think of that. And if that has a serial number, it's not a World War I era Mauser. You know what I'm saying? Actually, he said I don't think it has a serial number, I think was his text. School shooting in Colorado, 9/10/25. Weapon supposedly was a 38 caliber Smith & Wesson Model 36 revolver that holds 6. Says Perp fired 20 rounds in 9 minutes. Sus. I mean, I have to reload it 3 times. I'll take it 10, 15 seconds to reload a 38 if you know what you're doing. Love your show. Love your comment. Oh, I didn't see the L in your last name. I was like, what kind of last name is that? I gotta change it. Sorry, Clink. I didn't see the L. Kathleen. Sorry about that. Love your comment and your names. Beautiful. I love the newest evidence admitted for the jury's consideration includes AK's major breach of etiquette, crossing an unforgivable line with his fashion foul. Blue jacket with black pants, no starch. I call it like I see it. Strike 2. I'm telling you, I call it like I see it. Ball hit the corner of the plate. Who am I? Edge, good sir. Bean Boy is here tonight. Good. Marx equals a freak. All right, I'll allow it. UNCCO it. I'll allow that. You mentioned Andrea Burkhart for docs. Yeah, I did. Is there a particular way to request or just click and pay? Thanks for your great work, Team B. She offers them for free. You don't have to pay her, but I'm a big fan of paying people who are doing good work like that. She's paying for the documents. I've bought a lot of them myself. They're not cheap. And so she's bought hundreds of them. So, I mean, she's probably 4 figures into this thing, throw her $50, or throw her $10 or whatever you can, reasonably part with. But here, this is a good point. This is Travis on X Neilio or whatever. Oh, he changed his name and I don't know what it is. On X. He's a great guy, great social media guy. Good researcher, finds great stuff. But he made a good point the other day. People getting on to people for having audiences support the program. That's the silliest thing I've ever heard. But if you don't have an audience sourced show, who's paying for you? Like, who owns you? And I'd rather be owned by my audience and rather be like accountable to you. And if you don't like what I'm saying, then you guys go away. Rather than these people who are making, $1 million+ a year doing podcasts and they have no audiences, none. Like if 10,000 people watch a video and then they're living in like mansions. What in the world? Where are you getting who owns you? What? I'm the same way with Andrea Burkhart, right? I'm thankful for her work. Here's a 50, you know. Thank you for buying those, and thank you for taking the time to find them each time, and thank you for taking the time to update them quickly when they come out. I'm a fan of stuff like that. I'd rather pay her $50 than let the New York Times run everything, you know. Erika sounds like she's drunk every time she talks. Maybe she has a drinking problem, and they're hoping she'd sober up before the event, but the last minute realized it wasn't going to be okay. So it's interesting you say that, and I'm not saying that I think this is true, but I've noticed her speech sometimes sounds a little weird. And this is me like totally giving her the grieving widow pass. But I know sometimes when people pass away, someone will take medicine for a period of time, like to help with the anxiety and the nerves and the fear, the loneliness, all the things that, and I'm not saying it's good or bad. Like, you make your own call whether you want to take medicine. That's your business. But I know it's reality. It happens. And I've kind of given her, I've not even mentioned it on this show. I've never said it, even though I've recognized it, because I've kind of given her the pass saying, you know, if she's grieving, maybe she's taking, what do they call it? Nerve pills, anxiety medication. Sometimes that makes you a little slower. And so I've given her a total pass on that, but you brought it up, so I wanted to comment on it. It might not be alcohol. It might not be anything. Maybe it's just how she talks sometimes. My high IQ, I guess, is the 5 pieces recovered are pieces of a metal glass from his cross or mic. Well, they said it was lead. They said 4 pieces of lead. More likely, if it was fragments, they were planted after. Now we're cooking with grease. That's kind of my thought. EK is reaping what she sowed. Our instincts are not fabricated, but natural. Christ is king. Christ is king indeed. I think what she's reaping is the incessant desire to be famous. Empty arena for empty souls. Christ and king indeed merge. I like that CIK indeed. I might steal that. Do you mind if I use that? Hannah Banana? If that is your real name? I doubt it is. But on the off chance it is, what a beautiful name. Beautiful. So it's a list of evidence they want to include in the case, but none of it matches the rifle, nor the entry wound, etc. If so, more proof they have a collapsed case. Well, it's certainly not strengthening the case, I'll tell you that. Wasn't the ammo in the search warrant Doc Remington? It was. Boxes of Remington 30-06 ammunition. Baron, can you get you the number for this quarter for donations at TPUSA? No, that's not how it works. You got to wait till their 990s come out. Baron, I love it when you go Red Cross. Oh, Red Ross. Hey, Donna. Okay, Harvey. Red Ross. Who's that? I'm going to look it up. I don't know what Red Ross means, and I'm so insanely interested. Oh, I see Red Cross. Oh, Red Ross. A named Ross Geller gave himself in Friends, Season 4, Episode 15, the one with all the rugby. Referring to a time he got incredibly angry and his face turned red when someone cut in line for the movie Dances with Wolves. Cool movie, actually, though. So I get it. Thank you. My favorite opening statement really hit home for me. Thankfully, my eyes were open 5 years ago when my grandson was born. Left a really bad relationship and quit drinking. Living my best life. Congratulations on the sobriety. 5 years of sobriety is something to celebrate. I look forward to my 5 years. I'm at what? 3 years and 4 months? Not long enough. Look at this. TJ dropping 10 membos. 10 membos. Kimberly Guilfoyle, I think I heard, is a diplomat to Greece. I thought D Jr. was marrying her too. Yeah, I was so confused. I had no idea what happened. That's how out of it I am on the Hollywood glam part of politics. Zach Costello proudly changed his lighting yesterday. I saw that. He came on and I was like, that's better lighting. As a grand jury member, I let him know it looks good. Still a ginger. I saw that too. I didn't want to say it. But as I even froze the frame and zoomed in, I was like, yeah, he still got a rusty roof. Rusty roof. Still there, buddy. Got bad news for you, Zach. You've been a ginger. I love how you support new podcasters. Thank you for being a place for this wonderful, loving community. I love the community. Love it. Kimberly G was offered ambassador to Greece position. She accepted. Respectful exit. Yeah, there's nothing like getting rid of your ex by sending her to the other side of the world. Hey, it's been nice dating you. You're going to move to Greece now. You moved to Greece. Yeah. Athens. They got nice architecture. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. No, I'm not going to be there. No. I'll be here with a new girl. But Greece is beautiful this time of year. Go up to Mars Hill. Check it out. It's beautiful up there. I want to know how that conversation went. So it's not you, it's me. But the good news is you're moving to Greece. Thank you, Corrective, for the defective. The Don Jr. Kim G thing is proof that at a certain point, politics are all the same. Doesn't matter what side you're on. Yeah. Good call. The clinic where Tyler Robinson's mom works does contracted psych evaluations for the military. All the military links could be something. Could be. Might just be a place she works. Specialized in nonprofits during my JD MPA studies. You did one of those, huh? We had, at Indiana, we had a lot of JD MPA and JD MBA students. I always thought they were a cut above. Like, yeah, all right, I get it. You're smart. You don't have to rub it in. Stay over there. Come on, stay with your buddies. Apparently I missed the courses on how to deal with weapons, launder money, and traffic humans. What the buccal? Yeah, what in the buccal is that? Get your hands off my buccal right now. So the pieces of testing joined him in the SUV, planted by the same who planted at TR home. Bull butter. Have they found if the pew-pew was even fired? I don't know how they would. I don't know. I haven't seen that. Professor Barron with another exceptional class. Much respect to you, good sir. Yeah, so I've thought about it. Instead of a sweater vest, I might just take some older hoodies and cut the sleeves off. No? Oh, okay. Hey, I've thought about it. I might just invest in a sweater vest for my Professor Barron episodes. I got to have one of those jackets with the leather elbow pads. What are those called? A blazer with leather elbow patches. What are those called? They have a name, don't they? Tweed. I got so excited when I saw that. I've been wondering that for days. Tweed. If I can't have a sweater vest hoodie, then I'm going to have to go with tweed. I'm going to have to go with the tweed with the leather patches. Kick my feet up on the desk. Spin the globe. It's going to be great. Y'all are going to love it. Thanks, King Baron. Another community. 1 of 8 kids, born and raised, and still Catholic. Keep going max on supers myself. Life is fun. Life is fun, Allison. Thank you. 1 of 8 kids. Wow. I guess my kids will be able to say that, but weird to me. I mean, even though I live here, it's weird to me. Coach's video regarding Marx's black eyes. 103.53 today. Let's pull that. Got to see this black eye thing. Black eye, not black guy. Black eye. Coach Colin. What time did you say? 103.53? Hold, please. Live. There we go. 103.53. Got to see these black eyes. Black eyes. Don't get me in trouble with Coach. All right, here we go. Start about 20 seconds early. Make sure we get the whole thing. Black eyes. I got to see the black eyes. Where are they? I'm looking, guys. I'm efforting. All right. I'll have to look for it. I'll have to look for it later. Because I can't find it. Oh, there it is. I was looking for a Red Ross. All right, I can't find it. The black eyes. I'll have to go back and look. I was lied to. I was told 103.53, and they weren't there. Still don't understand how TP is a charity. You and me both, Coach. And I'm kidding about you lying to me there, Cape. Thank you. Not the coach? I have coach and the coach. I'm very confused. Corrective for the defective. Baron, I can't express how my life and spirit have changed since finding you. Truly God's work. I own Lucchese's Beer Garden in Memphis, Tennessee. Would love to name one of our sandwiches the Baron. What would you like on it? Oh, that's interesting. Baron. What kind of sandwiches do you have? So every good sandwich has to have salt and sour, or it's not a good sandwich. So let's start there. Let's go with a nice salty meat. Let's do you do like pastrami or corned beef or something? And then let's add a German mustard of some sort, some kind of spicy German mustard, a thick mustard. We'll do some really thinly sliced red onions, but a good chunk of them, like stack them up. We need a cheese on there, don't we? What about a Havarti? A Havarti cheese? And let's put it on sourdough. That sounds fun. Like a toasted sourdough? Just a simple sandwich. I'm not a complex man. A simple sandwich. German mustard. Some kind of either corned beef or pastrami. Maybe pastrami, like sliced thin pastrami or corned beef, one or the other. But pile it high. Like give the people what they want. Even if you have to charge a little more, they'll pay it. Let them know there's like 6 ounces of meat on there. And then some thin sliced red onions. Oh, we got to have a pickle in there. Let's do some Wickles. Let's do some Wickle relish. Oh, no. Wickles relish. Wickles relish. That's it. There's your sandwich. On toasted sourdough. Man, that's going to be good. Don't make the sourdough too thin, but don't make it too thick. Right amount. And then I'll come eat one. You're not that far away. That'll make a road trip. Where'd you say? Lucchese's Beer Garden. I'll wear my Lucchese boots. We'll call it a day. 300 black. Thank you. That's very humbling. Very high honor there. 300 blackout is also .300 and is the exact same diameter as 30-06 and can be fired from fold AR. That's a good point. That's correct. Coach called Tim Pool the R word on his show today. Shame on you, Coach. Have you no respect? Excellent point on how much money they spend that is not taxed. And surely there's some money laundering going on through all of these expenditures. Well, I mean, that's your opinion, maybe. Rosie, that's very kind of you. 10 people are going to be blessed. Blessed with a membership, not by God. But maybe. Scared of the dark. Larry's pun. Oh, I didn't think about that. That's harsh, Ed. Come on, I didn't mean that, but he was. That's funny. She would get a kick out of that, actually. Any historical national events you think are not Fed slop narratives, i.e. official narrative is actually what happened. Most seem like Fed slop. Historic national events that are not Fed slop. Other than natural disasters? I don't know. Honestly, I hate to say that. Man, that sounds awful. Historical national events that are not Fed slop. Man, they all are, it seems like. I mean, humanity wants to get along. Imagine Ben Shapiro receiving a gifted Mimbo. That would be hilarious. I'm going to look through my list of memberships and see. Thank you, Kelly. Holy mackerel, it's late. I got to hustle. My husband and I have never been podcast junkies or TV watchers, but we watch every show of yours. We love your style and respect your work. Thank you. That's a very high honor, very high praise there. Thank you. My favorite is I have no idea what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about. Thank you, Jalen. The phrase every Tom, Dick, and Harry originated in 17th century England with the earliest known citation from theologian John Owen in 1657. I know a John Owen. He's not a theologian, though. It serves as a placeholder for unspecified people. Well, now I know. Now I know. Baron, you're ending with remember, Jesus loves you is the only closing statement ever needed. Love you, my brother. God bless. Thank you, Candace. That's very kind of you. Shawnee. Wow. She's back. This is for date night with the wonderful Mrs. Coleman. Go make unforgettable memories. We're trying to plan our 25th anniversary. My humble Mrs. Coleman has a side gig, and her side gig involves women giving birth, and she never knows when they're going to go. And so it's hard to plan time away because you get the call at any moment, right? And so thank you for that. Thank you. And I will do that, and we will put it to good use, and we'll take a picture for Shawnee. How about that? Thank you, Shawnee. Unbelievably kind. Unbelievably kind. I hope your Lent was just unbelievably blessed. I hope you had a great time. Is PBD on the TPUSA board? Just started watching. I don't think so. Can't wait to send my 19-year-old daughter your opening statement. My favorite so far, my daughter is going through this very thing, and I could not think of a better way to explain it. Please pray for her. I will do that. Thank you, Jalen. No baby's named Gary recently. People getting smarter. He retired the name. People are like, nah. It's like, Caitlyn Jenner destroyed the name Caitlyn. Nobody uses it anymore. Same thing with Gary. World War I, 98 can't safely, properly use Springfield 30-06. Yeah, we got to figure out this whole age of the gun thing. I think from the serial number, we might be able to figure it out. Biron, what happens if TR is acquitted and the trial isn't public? Do you think they'll be forced to out more involved? Been watching since the Google days. That's a good question. It'll be public. It just won't be televised. That's two different things. Kimberly Guilfoyle's ambassador to Greece, so I hear. Edge, anniversary today. He refuses to see the truth. Eyes and ears are closed. So I always hope. Yeah, Edge, I apologize. I hate that. I hate that. I'll pray for you. Genuinely. Shawnee's dropping 20 membos, people. Get them while they're hot. Get them while they're hot. Thank you, Shawnee. Unbelievably kind. Unbelievably kind. Hey, Baron, if EK was at Mar-a-Lago for a bridal, no one would have known her itinerary that would not have been published to Doxer. Christ is King. Go Max. Christ is King indeed. Yeah, that's a good point. How would anyone have even known she was there? I didn't know she was there. I don't care if she's there. That's the thing. I think so there's this psychological phenomenon called the invisible guest. Have you ever heard of it? They give somebody something and they send them in, and then this is a really bad job of explaining this. Y'all just look it up. Invisible guest. But they send them into a setting, maybe 20 people around, and then they try to wonder, they estimate how many people notice the thing, right? So like a scar on their face or a rose in their hand or whatever. Something out of place that everyone should notice. And then they come out and they say, I think 14 of the 20 noticed. I'm like, okay. Yeah. Then they go through and they poll the people, and they find out only one person noticed. The reality is most people aren't watching you. Like, no one cares if you're at Mar-a-Lago. Good call. Get coffee donations, a lot more characters, less cost to donate. I'm from the 1990s. Diabolical is something the new generations taught me. It means a TKO. Oh, good. Shoo. I don't want to be diabolical. Instead of calling it an op, I call us the actual terrorists now. Disgust and angers me so much. That's sad. That's sad. The injury to the neck caused by joules from electrifying explosion. Yeah, could be. Could be. First super loved opening. 15 years in gaslit marriage. Tried to leave and got accused of parental alienation. Said he was winning even though the kids' therapists were fighting alongside me to keep kids safe. Had to stay to save kids. Wow. See, stories like that break my heart. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm hoping you're safe. Richard Marx, best song is Right Here Waiting for You, in my musical opinion. My favorite to play on the piano, and it's beautiful on the piano, Stacy. It's a beautiful song. Man, I'm going to have to listen to Richard Marx more. I haven't listened to him in like 30 years. I cannot remember, honestly, the last time I heard a Richard Marx song, but I'm going to listen. Thank you, Victor. You're good for something. Baron, you are on fire tonight. Best opening yet, and had me laughing out loud so many times. I so appreciate your heart. Blessings to you and the fam. Christ is king indeed. Thank you. I emailed you for about the same reason you'd email people about Google search results before you decided to go all in with the podcast. Yeah, we'll do a podcast. They didn't get back to me either. Do you think since coroners are elected officials, they could have very well planted someone in the office? Christ is king. Yeah, of course. Oh, yeah, EK didn't drink or date. Oh, yeah, that's true. Forgot about that. Looks like a fold AR and 300 blackout fires the same 30 caliber bullet as the 30-06, but from a much shorter, lower pressure AR-15 round with far less powder, velocity, and energy, especially at 150 yards. Yeah, it had my mind spinning too. Victor Marx gives me the creeps, unlike Richard Marx, who plays a mean piano. Bad dude. Hey, I see you're watching PBD. No, don't get me wrong. I just see clips. You ever check the podcast where Mario interviewed PBD and PBD said that Israel killed CK? No, I did not see that one. Sent you a message about it with date and timestamps, and you took a picture, but then nothing. Oh, I'm busted. Sorry. It won't happen again. Narrator. It'll happen again. I apologize. I get busy, guys. Mario Nawfall. See previous message. Yeah, the date will help. Thank you. Have you ever analyzed the footage of the shadows when TR jumped off the roof? In my opinion, they seem to look like the time is off based on the angle. I have actually. I did it the other day after somebody mentioned it. See, I do follow up on some tips. Yeah, I did. I even measured on Google Earth the path he ran across because that's the only place I could measure the shadow. And it looked right to me, but I don't know. Like it said, the shadow should be like 5 feet, and it looked about 5 feet, give or take. Praying for Theo Von's mental health with the gaslighting Rogan put on him. They do not like his questions about our greatest ally. Christ is king. I agree with you there. Because of the discrepancies of both sides of evidence, would the defense stop EK from having CK cremated if she decided to? I don't know if she did, but because there may need to be a second autopsy for the defense side. Just curious. Christ is king. Christ is king indeed. I don't know. Frangible round was EK's suggestion to the MD. What was found? A fragment. Frangible rounds. Piece. No, that's 4 pieces are not a frangible round. Frangible round's powder. Like they break. Dentist calls it buccal side. It's on the cheek side. Buccal swab. They measure your gums and say 323 buccal anyway. They kept saying it wrong. Yeah. We know. Shad. We know. Buccal. Today's my birthday. Happy birthday. Tax day rough indeed. Tax day is really rough. Oof. I tell you, my accountant called me yesterday. I was like, what? You're going to deduct what? You're going to take what out? Could President Orange be doing a Kanye crazy act to get free from control? I doubt it. I think he's just that way. King and CEO. Me again. Still going max on my first live. So for super chats. First about Victor with hold please at end, meaning more super chats. Then my Joe comparison with his mom in grocery store. And lastly, 1 of 8 kids. Blah, blah. Thank you. Thank you. He's given 1983 Outsiders cut off the sleeves hoodie vibes. Ready to rumble on the back. That's right. Outsiders was great. Thank you. Outsiders was fantastic. I saw Richard Marx live a few years ago. It was awesome. Great sense of humor, too. If you want a laugh, look up his appearance on Rhett and Link Commercial Kings. Thank me later. Duly noted. Thank you. My real message is not super, but important. Okay. Duly noted. Thank you for that contribution. Mark's Black Eyes, Coach 5020. Sorry for the typo. Oh. Do I still have it? I don't still have it pulled up. I'll have to watch it afterwards because we're really late. Option 4, she believed he had either a chance at being with the VP and realized it wasn't going to happen, so she was in the background sulking. Oh. Thank you, Jade. How do we get blessed with these memberships? May God bless you, Baron Fam, and all benefactors. I think they just fall randomly on people. Could her not showing up and saying that she got doxxed prelude to her planes not using transponder for safety? I don't think they have a choice to turn the transponder off, do they? I don't know. Where did my rumblers go? There they are. EK would be much safer in venue with VP and Secret Service. She's getting threats, so let's send in the VP. What? Stop this gaslighting. Cannot take TPUSA seriously anymore. I had the same thought. Hi, Barry. My cats watch every show. Do I need to get out a laser pointer? They love you. And can you say hello to Bully, Leo, and Kitty Kitty? Thanks. Hello, Leo, Bully, Kitty Kitty. The very appropriately named Kitty Kitty. I had no idea. Bless you, Baron. Well, bless you. Thank you. Little man on a midget horse is stealing your term. He's doing high IQ conservatism at UPenn. Time to patent high IQ outfit. Keep exposing the truth. Continue to pray for your protection. Christ is king. Indeed. Oh, no, it's happening. We're entering a cool hat battle. I hope you're ready because this fight is about to get ugly. This is Dom. This is I don't give a Dom. Well, actually, the opposite ugly because my newest hat, it's so shiny. I'll have to check out your new hat because your safari hats I kind of like. Makes me think we're going on a venture. I'm always like, ooh, where are we going? Going on a safari. All right, guys. This has been a long show. I will be back tomorrow. That'll be Thursday, and then Friday we'll have Jesse on fire on the members show. Should be 1 p.m. Central Time. I have no idea what we're going to talk about, but we'll have a good time regardless. We'll have a lot of fun. Jesse's a great guy. He's a character, good broadcaster, and he's become a friend. I really like him. So don't agree on everything. Don't see eye to eye certainly on his Charlie Kirk is alive theory, but I don't hold that against people. Everybody's trying to find the truth and going where the evidence takes them in their mind, and I'm okay with that. Thank you for all you do, guys. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for showing up night in and night out, hanging with me for 4-hour shows. That's incredible. Don't forget to like, subscribe, click the notification button, share it with your friends and family. And as always, the most important thing, don't ever forget, Jesus loves you. Have a wonderful night. Get a good night's sleep. Those of you in Australia, have a nice day at work or whatever you're doing. And those of you in the Balkans, thanks for tuning in. We are huge in the Balkans. I'll see you tomorrow. Mañana, for those of you south of the Rio Grande. See you then.